to World Class Bullshitters, the epitome of pop culture. I'm your host, the electrifying Jeff Hicks, and with me tonight, yeah, folks, I got electrocuted before we started the show. That's why I'm late. I'm not going to apologize for that, but yeah, that's what happened. And folks, with me for now is American Ramrod, Coach Kendo Slice.
Hi, I'm here, and I'm the only one.
Yeah, fuck everybody else. No, but yeah, folks, we are going to talk about all sorts of stuff tonight. We're going to talk about Kraven the Hunter. Is it as bad as you think? Yeah, it is. It's worse. We're also going to talk about Die Hard. For some reason, the number one trending thing on WCBS Twitter today was, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Because for some reason, all these people use it to get people talking. So tonight, we're going to talk about that with you. I hope you guys have a lot to say about it, as well as a lot more. But before we start tonight's show, let's talk about a couple of things. First off, this is our second last show of 2024, so make sure you don't miss out. Make sure if you're catching us on the replay to miss or not miss next week's show, because next week is our end of year 2024 spectacular, if you will.
Extravaganza.
Extravaganza. Yes, it's going to be a wonderful evening. We're going to talk about the best and worst of 2024, beyond just entertainment, some of the funniest moments, some of the cringiest moments, some of the deadliest moments. You know, we may not have had a submarine with a couple billionaires go up and, well, down, but we've had some other crazy shit happen in 2024. So for next week, join us, and we'll talk about that and a whole lot more. Kendo, how have you been?
Yeah, pretty good. It's been just busy. This week has gone by really fast, but really slow at the same time. It's like one of those things like, holy shit, it's already Thursday. But at the same time, it's like I felt every second of every day for the last few days. And that's about it. I'm trying to think. Does anything really happened over the week? No, I don't think it has. Maybe I finally put my application in for my doctoral program. So we're just waiting to hear back on that. So I'll be a doctor 3 years if they take me.
Official DIT.
Yeah. There was a lot of irony in the school I chose, but I'm going to wait till they announce that like last time until after it's official. But yeah, it's going to be cool. A lot of good things. I've when you were talking about 2024 goods and bads and everything like that, I'm like, well, there's been some good shit that's happened to me in 2024, but in terms of the world, there's been a whole lot of like bad. Like there's been a whole lot of positive stories come out of 2024. And it's just the hits keep coming. So we'll just have to see what happens over the next couple of weeks.
The question I have for you now is, can it get topped? Can something crazier happen in the last, we got 2 weeks left in the year?
I think so. I have a friend who is a big believer in all things conspiracy. So he is 100% in the tank that Mario's brother, the one that supposedly shot the CEO, is a psyop, to which I said, seems a bit of a stretch. However, if he pulls an Epstein and doesn't kill himself but dies in prison, then yeah, I will go ahead and I think that would top it, because that's like been the biggest news story of the last week and a half, right? Was the CEO getting assassinated, and then the guy gets caught, and half the country is like, well, he's a murdering piece of shit, and the other half is like, oh my God, he's too pretty to go to jail. And then there are people in jail that are like, oh yeah, he's definitely pretty enough to come to jail to see us. So he'll be popular. I think if that story has just another twist in the road, that could top it. Or if World War III does finally break out before the end of the year, which I don't think it will. I really don't think it will, but it could. And, there's all sorts of there is so much good, crazy shit going on right now, Jeff, that's flying all. We're essentially, the Earth is a ball that is in the air that's being juggled by the galactic clown. And we're just up there, just because, we're like clown world.
When the election isn't the craziest thing to happen in your year, you know that this is clearly a special year. And I don't mean
even with that. And even with that, there was a whole lot of crazy that went in with it, because it was, oh my God, we're running. Trump is running again. He's a felon. Oh my God, he's been sued. He's going to go to prison. Could he run from prison? To we're going to stand by Joe, to Joe has a bad debate. So we're going to throw Joe in front of this bus, and we're going to anoint the Kamala Harris train and have it come along, to how did she lose? How did he win? Oh my God. That's not even the craziest shit that happened all year. And it should be, but it's not. So folks, stick with us for next week, because there's a lot to talk about in terms of 2024, from personal levels to the shit that happens.
Joke's on us. It's going to be the most mundane rest of the year ever. Like, there's going to be records of like maybe like a traffic ticket here and there, but nothing is going to happen. That's my guess.
Watch 2025 actually be like totally normal insane. It's like somebody took like 2003 and just rips it out of the history book of the history of the Earth and puts it in where 2025 is. Everything is just like completely batshit normal as opposed to crazy. That would be interesting. I would take that, but I would also be very suspicious about what's going to happen next if we finally get a normal year.
'03 was a very mundane time. It was like my freshman year of high school, and nothing big happened. So, in terms of our pal Luigi, what is some of the crazier takes that you've seen about him? Because I've heard people call him a hero. I've heard people call him a martyr. I've seen people call him all sorts of things. But also, too, I need a little clarification because I've been busy this week. He got caught at a McDonald's, and the person is not able to get their like $60,000 because he did something wrong, right?
I think so. I know he got busted at McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, which talk about two places in Pennsylvania that nobody ever heard of before the 24th of this of our 2024, Butler and Altoona, Pennsylvania. Now they're both on the map, but everybody knows where Butler and Altoona is. But yeah, apparently he was at a McDonald's and he got caught and the person turned them in. And I didn't read the whole story, but somehow or another, he can't claim the reward for some reason or another. And it's just funny because like the person that did it, I think they're also getting threats for turning the guy in. So it's like, you got to be, we live in strange times. I get that, hey, he's a CEO and we don't like him because he runs a health insurance conglomerate. But at the same time, it's like, you can't just go and kill people. That's kind of against the rules. And then at the same time, it's like the kid went to like an Ivy League school and kind of grew up privileged. So it's really strange how this one's being framed. You've got a super rich elite person from Minnesota who has supposedly, allegedly, based on what I saw online, a history of donating to the blue causes, if you get what I'm saying, being shot by somebody that grew up affluent that was trying to strike one back for the man. I don't know what to make of it. The whole story is just completely fucked, and I'm just going to go with that.
You can't write this stuff. I mean, I do write stuff, and I come up with some crazy concepts, but if you were to say Jeff Top 2024 a story, I don't know how you would. Put it like this. I used to think 2020 was the shittiest year we've lived through in modern times, but 2024 has been crazy at least.
It's been nuts. And the fact that the icing on the cake was the dude got busted at a McDonald's makes it even funner because it was like, where did he go? They have him on his little, Easy Rider pay electric scooter bike thing going to Central Park and disappearing in the park. And then they found his backpack. They had Monopoly money or something. The dude's definitely a few fries short of a Happy Meal. No pun intended, because where he got busted. But then, yeah, it's like there's this manhunt across the country. Where is he? Where is he? The only thing I will say is strange is that they caught the guy, and within not even a third of a day's news cycle, like we knew there's all sorts of information about him. So that part to me seemed a little odd. Although the memes have been great. The best meme I have seen so far is where somebody superimposed his face over Lee Harvey Oswald's in that very famous picture of him being walked through the Dallas jail. I'm like, that's the winner right there. Right before Jack Ruby showed up and completely let the conspiracy theorists run wild.
So, folks, let us know your thoughts about this and share us your favorite memes over on the WCBS fan page. Yes, we have the group, which is where actually you want to share to the group, excuse me, because we have the fan page that has about a little over 5,000 of you, but you want to join the group, and it's a pretty fun place to hang out. You can follow us over there. You can interact with us. We also award the listener who contributes the posts with the most engagement over there, too. So, join us. Try to take the #1 spot. We have two guys that usually kind of dominate, and hey, it's their game to play. It's their game to win. So, folks, go over there and try to get the most attention over on the WCBS Facebook group. Even if you're not a big Facebook user, you probably will be because this group is a lot of fun. So, shout out to everybody that's over there that makes it as awesome as you are, or it is, excuse me. And thank you, folks, for making this crazy year a good one for WCBS. We are literally this close to that 200,000 line. You know what, though? I'm not going to complain because, dude, and this is just a quick plug for everybody, this book is like, we're in the final couple books now. The commercials have been moving the book. People are buying this like crazy. I've been shipping them internationally again, and you want to get ready because Stealing Solo 2 is in production right now. I've been working on it today. It's written. I'm finishing the roughs, and then we're going to start drawing it before Christmas. And I'm going to have that ready for everybody to crowdfund at tax season so we can get that rolling and then have more books regularly. See, I told you there'd be a quick turnaround from Wokebusters to the next one.
Yeah, definitely. It's exciting. I've read Woke Busters because I got an advanced copy because I'm in the group, and yeah,
And the book.
And the book, and it's fun. I enjoyed reading it, and yeah, like Jeff said, go to the Facebook page, engage with people in the community, post some funny shit. Just don't post anything overtly political. That's against the rules. That's a no. And
We
yeah,
literally have two rules. That's it. Be excellent to each other and don't post pure politics.
yeah, don't be a dick and don't do pure politics. There are some questions you have to answer. One is like what the password is. We said that on an old show. I have no idea what the password is. I don't even remember. So if you are new and you want to join, the password now is Kendo can't remember. Because I can't. I don't remember what the password was that we came up with because I came up with the password and said, here's the password because I'm the one that set that whole thing up for you have to answer any questions. So if you join and you don't answer any of the questions, we're going to think that you're a bot and you probably won't get in. But yeah.
But if you leave the password blank and the other parts full, I usually let you in. So
yes, I do too. Clone Geek says it's Large Marge sent me. Was that if that? I don't know if that is now. That okay? So
that's officially it now. If it's
that's
not
officially
that.
Thanks, it. So it's Geek. Large Marge sent me. So don't put. If you do write Kendo can't remember, we'll still take it. It's an old code, but it checks out. But yeah, Large Marge sent me as our official password, and if you're lucky, I might even find something you post and engage with you because I'm not on there very often. Usually, just whenever there's a notification that somebody was doing a little shit posting or maybe posting something political or I get to see stuff every now and then, but I just don't have time to engage.
It automatically flags too, folks. We don't sit and go, oh man, because we're pretty chill about everything on the group. Mm-hmm. It's just like if Facebook this goes against Facebook standards and automatically deletes it, we can't control it. But there's a lot of times where people will complain like, this was mean or this made fun of somebody I liked. And I'm like, look, if you like, I don't know, Susan Sarandon and somebody said she's old, I'm sorry. You're just going to have to deal with being offended. So
right. I had somebody report one once. I think somebody posted a picture of I think it was the battle scene from the Death Star, and it had the Trump doing the Trump dance in between Luke and Vader. Political, yes, but also very funny. So I allowed that one to stay, I think, because I'm just like, okay, it's a political post, but it's actually kind of funny.
He's in a weird place, though, because before he was the president, he was in movies and in the WWE Hall of Fame, and he was like a regular celebrity. So that's why, if Ronald Reagan was still alive and you were memeing Ronald Reagan, hey, lump him in there too. Anybody that was kind of famous before being a president, outside of politics, they count as celebrity. Maybe we'll have a list of all the rules next year, Kendo. We'll put out a really obscure, we'll get the Jericho list. Not that you just made the list, but
yeah, so we can do that. I can work on that. We can come up with some rules. But another thing, I'll just go ahead and tease the audience. So we were doing a lot of the anniversary stuff. This year was the 65th anniversary of the Twilight Zone debut, and we completely forgot about that fact. But we have talked about the Twilight Zone in the past. It is one of our favorite things to discuss, and I'm currently working on something where Jeff, Nick, and I, and if Dion really wants to get involved, we should make him just watch the Mannequin episode over and over. We're going to come up with the 100%, 100% official. We're bringing it back. WCBS ratings of things where we will score different things and then we'll average it out. I'll do the Excel spreadsheet and we will come up with our definitive rankings. It's not going to be done overnight because there's 156 of these damn episodes to get through. Some are easier to get through than others because they're actually enjoyable. And then you got shit like I Sing the Body Electric, which
Can we not talk about Body Electric right now?
Yeah, because once you see that one's when you say, I forgot. When you see that one is on the play next, you're kind of like, I got some other shit to do. You just don't want to
skip it, to be honest.
I never watched. I've watched it twice because it was one of those. I have never watched this one, and then there was another one of maybe it's not as bad as I thought, and then it's like, it's fucking bad. And then Jeff's favorite, Mr. Dingle the Strong.
Yeah, don't go telling people that I like that episode. I like Burgess Meredith, but.
He's in 4 episodes. 3 are great, and then you've got Mr. Dingle the Strong,
which is the greatest. No, it's not. But folks, we have a lot of cool stuff planned for 2025. Get excited. I am. More than I am. I'm still in a little bit of pain, but Yeah, it really burned. Anyway, we have a word of the day. I wish I had some right now for the opposite of this. The word of the day is frost. Die frosted. It just made me think of something else. Sorry. Big Trouble in Little Frost. Jurassic Frosted. Load. Oh, God. The Frosted Connection and A Fistful of Frosted. So, Kendo, what are some Frost titles?
Hot Tub Frost Machine. That's a completely different movie, but it fits with the ski resort. Stop or My Mom Will Frost.
Yeah, I was just about to say that one. Fuck.
Like, is she frosting a cake? Is she, going into the cold storage at the home? We don't know.
Could be like in Zack and Miri Make a Porno. Don't ever talk about having your shit covered ever again. There's a lot of meanings for Frosted, folks.
Mm-hmm.
And they're more than good. They're great. So let's...
Back in high school, it just meant what you did to the tips of your hair to try to look like Devon Sawa.
Whatever. Is he still alive? Wait, I'm thinking of...
yes, I think it's
Brad
Renfro that's dead.
That's who I'm
And Jonathan Brandis.
That one was sad.
Yeah. So I think those are the ones. I think Devon Sawa. Yeah, because we had a thing like a year or so ago where we were going to try to get Devon Sawa on the show.
We never even tried. That's the thing.
No,
we forgot to try.
That was within a week. We completely forgot about Devon Sawa until just now.
Do you think if we actually had him on, the audience would be really excited? Like, oh my God, Devon Sawa's on the show.
I mean, I feel like there is a small portion of our audience that would be like, well, it's kind of cool because he was a big deal in the 90s. They probably weren't big fans of him in the 90s because pretty much anybody that was on Tiger Beat, most guys that were like my age, that were like teenagers in the 90s, didn't like him because it's like it's like Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I got nothing against the guy personally, but I hated him in the 90s because all the girls loved him. And it's like, I'm not on Tiger Beat. You're never going to meet Jonathan Taylor Thomas. He's never going to go out with you, but I'm right here. So
I was too young to date at that point in time, so he was just Randy on Full House, or Home Improvement. Excuse me.
Yeah, when he got the goiter or the neck thing, and they thought it might be cancer, episode was hilarious because my friend's sister was like crying the whole night, and me and my buddy, who is actually dead, so R.I.P. that dude.
I'm sorry, just the way you said that.
We essentially took the Presidents of the United States song "Lump" instead of "Lump." It's in her head. It was like there's a lump in his neck, and just. Essentially just spending the whole day ramping up to it because they had the trailer because folks back then they would advertise what's going to be on the show that week, and it was going to be a very special episode of Home Improvement where Randy deals with a cancer scare, and we spent the whole week tormenting that poor girl hoping that he was going to die of cancer.
I love how you forget the best part of that is the commercial on a very special episode of Home Improvement followed by the Mug Root Beer presents the Dana Carvey show. You ever seen the Dana Carvey documentary?
No, but I need to because I'm a big fan of Dana Carvey.
You got to watch it because they actually will they're talking about how the show is, moving and getting momentum, but they couldn't find the right audience because Home Improvement had like a family audience and Dana Carvey was skewing older. So that week that special episode aired, they did a promo, and in the documentary they showed Dana Carvey, Steve Carell, and all these people react to that Home Improvement promo, followed by the Mug Root Beer Dana Carvey comedy hour or whatever. It's the best.
I watched it when I was gonna say I watched it back then because I was a fan of the show. I love Dana Carvey, and so I'm one of the few people that actually likes the Master of Disguise movie. It sucks. It's a piece of crap, but I enjoy it. I think it's hilarious, and I also really enjoyed Opportunity Knocks. That's a good Dana Carvey movie too.
How about Opportunity Frosts? Since we're talking titles.
The Master of or the Frost of Disguise.
Frosts Like Us.
Yeah.
The
Frost
good, the bad, the frosted.
Yeah. Fistful of frost because it's a balmy morning.
Yeah. I mean, it's only 24 degrees here in Cincinnati, but I think I'll live.
It got down to like 33 here today. People were like walking around all freezing and stuff. I was just in a shirt and pants going to work. I'm like, it ain't that cold.
Well, you're used to what it's like where it's not always perfect. We like to live in a place where...
I'm used to cold weather.
Dude, the people in California couldn't handle when it rained. They're like, do we go outside? Do we shelter in place? They were more afraid of that than half the shit that went down in 2020 and 2021. Like, oh my God, the sky is crying. We have to cry too.
Now, see, I was under the impression, I had this on good authority, that it never rains in Southern California. But you keep telling me that it does.
Tony lied to you, if that's who sings that song.
No, it's not.
Who is that?
They might have done a dude. That's like a '70s song or
Oh,
like a late '60s song. I don't remember who it is, but it's like
Albert
yeah,
Hammond.
yeah, that's it.
But isn't there an '80s? Yeah, there is a Tony version. All right, so I'm not crazy. It came out in 1990. It's from the same album as "It Feels Good," which is a pretty good song. So, folks, we will not talk about '90s R&B anymore. We will press a button for Shrubbles '08 because we're going to talk about this first.
Glass? Who gives a shit about Glass? Who the fuck is this?
This is Deputy Chief of Police Dwayne T. Robinson, and I am in charge of this situation.
Oh, you're in charge. Well, I got some bad news for you, Dwayne. I'm not the one who just got butt fucked on national TV, Dwayne.
Great movie.
It is. It is a Christmas movie as well.
Yeah.
Now, I've been on Twitter today. I don't really like Twitter as much as your average person. I don't see too much value in it. But I saw this on Twitter today. A lot of people are talking about how Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. And one of the arguments is Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie because Christmas is just the backdrop. It's not essential to the story. Well, that's when I stopped reading this person's point because, Kendo, why is John McClane going to California?
Oh shit, I know this. Because it's Christmas time and he wants to spend it with his family.
Yes, and anyone that would go, but Jeff, he could have went out any time of the year. They talk about it, how they tried in July, and now they're trying at Christmas. Like, I really question, and I'm going to sound like a dick for a minute. It's not this person, it's anybody that puts this argument out there. Are you people actually watching the movies that you talk about and act like you're experts on or have an opinion of? Because it seems like you don't pay attention to the movie. Now, you don't need to watch it like we do, where we watch Die Hard 4 or 5 times a year, maybe sometimes 5 times in the summer, who knows? But my point is, you don't need to watch that movie like I do to understand the plot. And if you do, well, I'm sorry. I'm not going to judge. But everybody kept saying about, oh, it's not really essential to the story. It's just the theme. It's not the theming. Well, it's the theme of family and redemption and Christmas at the time of miracles. All of these things. You don't have the same movie. You don't have the music. Like, the score is literally Christmas music with some other music tied in. They even put Ode to Joy in there for New Year's as a joke towards the end of the movie when they open the vault. But I was curious, how do you feel about this argument every year? Does it make you roll your eyes, or does it make you just think that people are dumb?
I think it's one of two things. Either A, people are just that dumb, or two, it is the desire to be contrarian for the sake of being contrarian. Like, either want to kick the hornet's nest for the sake of engagement and just being contrary, like a contrarian to I want to hate what's popular. It's like when people started, hating pineapple on pizza because the internet told them to. So then, at a reverse, people were defending pineapple on pizza just to be contrarian to what is popular at the time. I was surprised when I saw something posted the other day about on Facebook where somebody was arguing that, hey, Christmas. This is Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Blah. I'm like, we're still having this argument because I thought the argument was over by that point. Because either people accept. Look, I mean, I'm also in the camp of you can say it's a Christmas movie, you could claim it's not because your idea of a Christmas movie is something like Ernest Saves Christmas, where Santa Claus is there and shit happens because that's a Christmas movie too, or Miracle on 34th Street, or what's the one where Jimmy Stewart's going to kill himself?
Yeah, It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah,
I do not like that movie.
It's overrated, but
Thank you.
It's one of those things. But you could say that those are Christmas movies because the entire movie is just about Christmas. I'll give you that. And you'd be like, well, Die Hard, it takes place at Christmas and da-da-da-da-da, but it's not really. Fine. That's fine. If you want to make that argument, you can make that too. But you can't say that when the guy's argument of, it's not essential to the plot, we just, in 2 seconds, we're able to say the entire plot is there because he's going there to spend Christmas with his children and his estranged wife to try to make things work because she left to take a job in Los Angeles. He stayed behind in New York because he's a dedicated cop that's, stuck, married to his job, essentially. Because one of the things is he looks for her and he finds her last name and how she's going by a different last name, and that bothers him. So, he's trying to use the holidays to try to make everything better, and he does. And then the next movie, it happens again, and the holidays are good because him and Holly are all okay, and by the third movie, it doesn't take place at Christmas anymore, and him and Holly don't talk to each other. So, be that as it may, Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Lethal Weapon, you could say it's a Christmas movie too because it happens at Christmas time. I'm trying to remember if Christmas is essential to the plot or not.
It's not. I just watched it the other night.
So it's not. People say Batman Returns is a Christmas movie because Christmas is taking place. Not 100%, to the plot of Batman Returns, but it's there. And actually, it would, because of, now that I think of it, the Penguins plan to kill all the firstborn sons. It would be more of a Passover movie. So there's that. So yeah, so Batman Returns is also a Passover movie. But then you could say that as long as Christmas is involved, it's a Christmas movie. Or you could just be like us. It says you can call it whatever the hell you want, but you can't take away the fact that Christmas is essential to this movie. So there's that. Plus, I mean, look, The World Is Not Enough is a Christmas movie because Christmas comes twice that year, and Christmas plays a vital part to the plot. Terribly acted, but it's there.
I like to think that with James Bond on the job, she came more than twice that year. Just want to put that out there.
Draculia says that Trading Places is a Crimbo movie. Crimbo being a slang term from the UK for Christmas that I throw around every now and then. Yes, Trading Places is a Christmas movie because Christmas is, not essential to the plot, but New Year's is essential to the plot because they got to get their proper portrait. So you could say that it's a holiday movie all around. You could say it's a Christmas movie. You could say it's a New Year's movie. It's both. I watch it during Christmas. I mean, I watch Trading Places any time of the year. I fucking love that movie.
Same.
Scrooge is a Christmas movie. Yes, it is Eddie Murphy's second best, right behind Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah. If I had a Trading Places shelf, the weird part is for me with Trading Places is Eddie Murphy's not my favorite part of that movie. That is the only movie where Eddie Murphy is. I think Dan Aykroyd's funnier in that movie. The La Boheme, it's an opera shit. The way he's all uppity about a PCP and all this crap, and you're a prostitute. Like, Eddie Murphy's shtick is great. I have nothing bad to say about him, clearly. But Dan Aykroyd, like, Blues Brothers is awesome. But Trading Places, and I'm talking just character performances, it's just like a step above. And then he goes into Ghostbusters, and that's great too. But, man, Lewis Winthorpe III, they don't make comedies like that anymore.
No, they don't. And there's a couple of really good reasons, like at the end with Lionel Joseph. Probably couldn't get him. You probably couldn't get it. I know, like, I saw somebody trying to say shit about Trading Places within the last few months. So, like, Dan Aykroyd, winning blackface. I'm like, well, it's because you probably never watched the movie to understand why he did it. And the fact that he does it, it's not that he's making fun of black folks by going in blackface. They're trying to go undercover, and that's the best he could come up with, apparently. And it's making fun of his character because he's such an uppity, elitist type of guy that he has absolutely no idea how black people act. So that's why it's even funnier that he does it. Because even Eddie Murphy's like, look at him like, dude, you're going a little too over the top here. Stop it.
I would love to. Oh man, we gotta find some uppity people. I want to sit in a room with them and show them old movies, and then listen to their offenses, and then tell them why they're wrong for 20 minutes. Would anybody watch that series? Because it wouldn't be nice. It would just be. I
want to be a part of it.
I want you to too, but I want some like college kids like, I can't watch this movie. It has blackface, and I would look at them and say, "Watch! You're watching the movie. You signed the paper. Now let's watch this movie." And then we're gonna film their face as they watch this movie, and then they'll get to the blackface scene and they'll go, "That was a really funny movie." And they'll realize, like, one, times were different. Go back and watch 48 Hours. That movie is a lot harder edge than a lot of other comedies out there. They say some shit where you're just like, oh, okay, times are different. But guess what? Times are different. You don't hear me going, oh, man, they better censor that Nick Nolte. It's offensive. Come on. It's 1981. Get over yourselves.
Yeah. Nobody says anything about RDJs going, blackface with Tropic Thunder because that they get if they're smart enough, they get the joke. And it's not making fun of people in blackface or black people. It's making fun of actors that are way too method, that go over and above and beyond for their roles.
To the DVD commentary.
Right. Yeah. That's the funny part. So they're making fun of actors in that movie.
It seems like we have an idea that people like. So folks, I guess you need to help us find some uppity. I don't want to say like right or left-leaning people because I don't want to make it political, but just uppity people that are like, I guess, kids that are offended by this shit, and just be like, well, you're wrong.
All of us live within driving distance of a few minutes of college campuses.
Yeah.
UNLV is a half hour away. Cincinnati is not too far from where you live. Dion practically lives a rock's throw away from MSU.
Yeah, I mean, I could technically if I had no traffic, I could get to the University of Cincinnati in the same time that Dion could drive to state, because he's got to go either down one long road that's residential with a lot of stop signs and shit, and I can just zip up 2 streets and go up the hill. So we can get to colleges. I think Dion will have. I should just go to Michigan State and do it because I'm a former student there, and I'll call the psych department. Like, we need to conduct an experiment for research, and we'll pay in social media. We'll pay in hot coin. How's that sound? You think kids will buy in for some crypto?
I don't know. I heard Hawk2 stuff got even worse. I haven't looked into it for this week, but I think there's even more fallout from the hot coin.
Do you think this is her end? Seriously? Like, do you think enough people are going to be like, you know what? We were kind of like, it was a good joke for 5 minutes, and now we're stuck with this chick. Let's stop.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably the case. I would also like to think that maybe, and it's not going to happen because society's too fucking stupid, that people would be like, look, maybe we should stop making people that do and say dumb shit on viral videos famous. But, because like the kids do that, the adults shouldn't be doing that, because I've got kids running around for the last week and a half screaming about getting hurt on their Ariana Grande shirt. I guess that's a TikTok or something. I don't know. I think it sounds stupid. But it sounds like something they would be into. But like I said, it's not the kids that made it famous. It is the adults that made this girl famous, because somebody's like, oh my God, we can take this and make her famous. And that's how she got her podcast, which was semi-wholesome. And the money went to animal charities, which is fine. But then they went into the realm of crypto, and people have worked a long, hard time trying to legitimize cryptocurrencies. That kind of goes against it when you bring this girl along with her crypto coin, and it immediately fucking tanks, and a bunch of people are bilked out of millions of dollars. Don't get me wrong. Don't feel bad for those people. Those people are fucking dumb for investing their money into Hawk2 a coin. But I'd like to think that maybe some people took notice and said, maybe we should stop making these people famous.
That's where I feel like we should go. I don't say we need to elevate like boring. Okay, Ben Stein was great, but like, we don't need to make the modern day real life version of Ben Stein's like parody character famous because they're smart. Like Ken Jennings. Ken Jennings should not host Jeopardy. I don't care that he's the most winningest in the history. He is a terrible host. He doesn't have the charisma or Alec Trebek's voice.
Yeah,
Alex Trebek, sorry. But, we do have to have some merit. Like, the Hawk2 girl could get sued according to Yahoo Finance. Like, I don't know, man. It just makes me laugh. That's all I can say.
I agree with John Thomas. He says, I think she was scammed too. I think she was, because I don't think she's overly bright, clearly. So I think some people sat down and said, hey, we can capitalize on this, and you can make a ton of money in crypto. We'll make your own crypto blog. I think she got fucking had by some kind of fly-by-night bullshit, and I think that's what it would come out to be if it even makes it to the SEC or the Federal Trade Commission or anything like that. I think it'll be one of those things where it's like, she's not very smart, and she got tricked by these people that were smarter than her, and were definitely con men.
Yeah, I don't need her to go away. I don't have anything against her. It's the society that we live in that I think is stupid.
Correct. We have no problems with Haley Welch. We have a problem with the society we live in.
Yeah. If I ever met her, what would I say to her? I don't know. Just, what's up?
Yeah.
I really, it's just thing is like, I have no interest in meeting a lot of these people. Because it's
like, how are you? Would you like to be on our podcast? Because I think we could draw a rating.
Yeah. We'll just pitch ourselves, and then she shows up, and we have a good show, and we talk. We have to have Dion, because, a white woman.
He'll make it super uncomfortable. She'll giggle uncomfortably, and then that'll be that.
That's why I love Dion to death, but I even have him make that joke in Wokebusters, so.
Mm-hmm.
You know that.
I do.
So, folks, you'll know in just a short period of time. If you're a backer, you'll get an update tomorrow about everything. So, Enrique Vasquez, thank you very much for your super chat. He says, I guess YouTube lost my super chat to end the debate of Die Hard. Jesus died hanging by hard nails, so therefore he died hard. Oh, God damn.
Woo!
All right, you want another one? Sure, Enrique. No problem whatsoever. I think that is the definitive answer right there, folks.
Enrique is
Goddamn.
either super religious, so he feels he can make that joke, or he's super anti-religious, so he feels he can make that joke. There's no in between with that joke.
Enrique is awesome. He's the whenever I talk about the friend I made in California, and yeah, I made a lot of friends living out there, but nobody that I've wanted to stay in contact with. It's like, oh, the guys from this store, or the girl from this store, or so and so. Well, there's one I still talk to every once in a while, but Enrique is an actual friend. So, Enrique, you made me laugh. You made Kendo laugh, and now you get your button. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one.
Yes. So there you go, folks. Crucifixion is not funny at all, unless you were a Roman soldier participating in it, which I'm sure was a laugh riot.
Yeah. This isn't like me trying to be too funny. Isn't Mel Gibson making a sequel to The Passion of the Christ?
Yes, and I'm not sure how you make that sequel because the whole movie is about the lead up to Jesus being crucified. And I mean, I guess you can say that the story's about, him, ghosting everybody and leaving the tomb. But how do you make a long movie about that? Because he's not going to be in it for a while, because if you believe the scripture, he was dead for like 3 days. So not sure how that movie works.
He comes back after the 3 days. He's there for like 40 days, and then he just ascends to heaven. Like, they just watch him go. So I think there's a market for it, but I wouldn't really... Would you really market it as a sequel to Passion of the Christ, since it's just an adaptation of scripture in a different medium? So it's like, then if you make, I don't know, is the Noah's Ark movie technically a prequel to Passion of the Christ? Because
it's all prequel to a lot of things, because it's Old Testament, so it's prequel to a lot of shit. No, I think what Mel Gibson should do, and he won't because he's not the type to be sacrilegious about things. I was going to say he should make the Passion of the Christ sequel. Jesus leaves the tomb, and then it turns into like a John Wick style movie where he takes vengeance on Pontius Pilate and everybody that went against him, and it's just him whooping ass for those 40 days before he ascends in heaven. See, that would be a fun movie. I'd watch the shit out of it.
I would watch that. Look, I'm Catholic. I should make that comic. No, I'm not gonna make that comic book, but no,
I would immediately go grab my Bible and be like, I don't fucking remember this.
It's like we call it like the deleted chapter of the Bible or something.
Yeah, it's like I've read some of this stuff. I used to go to church fairly regularly. Where is this? I don't. Mark, Matthew, Luke, John. Which one wrote this part? I don't remember this part. And this is
Norris 428.
Yeah, this has been Christian Talk with Jeff and Kendo.
There's our new podcast in 2025, Kendo. We'll do we'll pitch fictionalized Bible stories. They used to do comic books of the Bible. God, EC Comics used to do them, folks. Check them out if you're interested in historical stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's from the Book of Kendo. Jeez.
Yeah.
I like the Book of Kendo, just in general.
The Mormons did it. Why can't I?
Yeah. Well, you have
my own chapters. No, we just wear boxers in my book. But yeah, I could write my own addendum to the Bible, be sacrilegious as all hell, risk, eternity and damnation, or just rotting in the ground, whatever one comes first.
You'll piss a couple people off.
I'm sure I would, but like I said, if Joseph Smith can read these magical golden plates that only he knows what they say, I think I could, run my head into the wall and talk to God too.
Well, we'll film it and see just how concussed you are at the end of it. Our friend Jim Sterling and a Mankini says, fear and frosting in Las Vegas. There's a lot of fear and frost out there, right, Kendo?
Occasional fear, I would say, based on my Ring notifications where people are like constantly hearing gunshots that are probably fireworks. I'm like, I always want to get on there and be like, look, I spent time living in St. Louis or around St. Louis, and I lived in a rural area outside of St. Louis most of the time. So gunfire was pretty regular in both. One was one where you were like, that could be bad. The other one was just like, somebody got a new gun for Christmas or whatever it is. So I just want to get on there and be like, folks, it's Vegas. People are playing with fireworks all the goddamn time around here. Not everything is a gunshot. Shit, I hear cars backfiring going down the road regularly, and I don't ever go, oh my God, there's a gunshot. I'm just like, somebody needs a tune-up.
We have fireworks here, but only around 4th of July. Our friend Master Marlbros with a very generous super chat. Thank you, Master Marlbros. Tropic Thunder makes me oh, sorry, I messed that up. Tropic Thunder makes me happy. Merry Christmas. Oh, Simple Jack.
Please give me a gift.
I just love when the little Asian kid's like, "We love your movie." And he's like, "You have it on? We made a videotape of that." He's like, "We love Simple Jack." It's like, "Oh, okay."
We love Simple Jack.
just he's like, "Oh, thanks," and then he has to put in those fake teeth from the old man. Ugh.
That's what I thought. That was like the funniest part of the movie is where he gets taken prisoner by whatever they're Vietnamese, Koreans, whatever they happen to be. I think they're Vietnamese because I think
they're flaming dragon.
Yeah, they're flaming dragon. Because I think doesn't Robert he dresses as like he essentially goes Sean Connery and becomes Asian. Which,
yeah.
Look
He's
at
a patty farm. Was it lead farmer, motherfucker? And he just starts lighting them up with his fake guns.
But yeah, they take him prisoner, and his entire time as being a prisoner is just to keep fucking doing Simple Jack on a stage over and over. And then they give him that little fucking Rice Oscar award or whatever it was. God, it's a great movie. I can't believe that movie is 16 years old. That's such a good movie.
It is the best movie of that year. I'm sorry if you say Dark Knight or Iron Man. Those are both very good films. But Tropic Thunder is just next level.
Yeah.
Thank you, Master Marlbros. Now I want to watch Tropic Thunder. I got it on disc.
Too.
I got the unrated. I think I picked up the 4K, and I've never watched it. I'm not going to walk out into the living room and check, but I'll find out soon enough. But what is my favorite? The only character I don't love is Jack Black. I'm not saying he's bad, but like everybody else gives their best performance that I've seen in like most movies. And his is good, but I've seen Jack Black do better. I guess I like his characters in other movies more. Jeff Portnoy's just fine.
Yeah.
But fucking...
It's like, essentially it's Jack Black trying to play Chris Farley, and it doesn't work.
Could you imagine that movie with Chris Farley?
It would be a totally better movie, and the movie's already great as it is.
Can Tropic Thunder get better? That's the question, folks.
Yes, Chris Farley doesn't die, and he plays Jeff Portnoy.
And Jeff Portnoy, Fatty's Fart 3 is coming down the pipe.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier to God says, it was reported that the Haktua girl was a preschool teacher, then got fired after the clip that made her famous. Do you guys believe that's true?
No, because it was a satire article because the thing, I read it, and they had the name right, and she was a preschool teacher, and it said that she got fired because the kids were going around going Haktua and spitting on each other. I kind of don't believe that. I think that was just a joke.
Yeah, I don't follow her enough. Like, when that meme was big over the summer, I was like, all right, okay. We all love a good Haktua. But then it's like, I never looked into it deeper than that. I'm from the old school where, like, I remember all internet culture, and I know how quick and fleeting everything is. Like, folks, if you ever want to remember what the internet was like, for our younger listeners out there, go watch the Weezer Pork and Beans video. Because there was an era of internet stardom, and all those people were, like, considered big deals. And then they made it to the Weezer video, and the Weezer video has outlived all of them. If anything, it dates the Weezer video and makes it kind of forgettable. Like, do you remember Leave Britney Alone? Or the Numa Numa guy? Or even the Tourette's guy? He's still a personal favorite of mine and a hero. But so many of these people just come and go. Like, nothing is permanent. The fact that we've been doing it for this long goes to show you how insane we are. But most people just are like, hey, blink and you miss some moments. So
even South Park did a thing about that, where the kids were going to get famous on the internet, so they went to get their internet money because they essentially turned Butters into the fucking Chocolate Rain guy. Or no,
I forgot about him.
They turned him into the what in the butt guy, and
I remember that one.
So they went to get their internet money, and all those people were there. There was the Star Wars kid, which is like the original fucking viral video.
He's mentioned in Stealing Solo too, by the way.
Is he? Nice.
You get compared to him. Dion, you have to fight Mark Hamill, and Dion's like, he looks like that fat kid on the internet flopping around.
Yeah, Star Wars kid. Dude, that was when I was in college up. That was when I was in college up in Michigan. That was like 20 something years ago. So that's how long ago that fucking Star Wars kid was a thing. So that was the original one. But yeah, that was back during the 2000s, the aughts, and that's the Wild West of like when memes and viral shit became a thing, and yeah, it's blink and you miss it. I would say those have longer staying power, because if you go look at like your meme generator things and things like that to make memes, some of the older stuff is still on there. Some of the newer stuff ain't on there. So it's
Bad Luck
yeah.
Brian. He's like the definition of it, because he was a meme for like a decade, and then he was in a commercial fairly recently. Like, and that meme still pops up every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. So there you go, folks. The internet is fleeting. People have no attention spans. And I talked about it last week. The kids will watch a viral something or another on the TikToks, and that's all they will do. They will crack that joke for an entire week, and then like the next week there's something else. So this week and part of last week, it was "You Hurt Me" in my Ariana Grande shirt. And yeah, I don't know what the fuck that even is supposed to mean. And then next week there'll be something else, and then there'll be 2 weeks where it's Christmas break, and I don't have to see any of those little hooligans. And then when I get back after that, I'm sure there'll be something else that they watch that is supposed to be funny. They'll be like, Mister, you gotta watch it. I'm like, I don't give a shit about your fucking culture and your damn your TikToks. I was gonna say they're fucking Vines. Those aren't even Vines anymore. Vine's dead. But yeah,
do it for the Vine, bro.
Yeah. Like, I mean, dude, there's a fucking couple of Vines that I still go back and I find them on YouTube and watch every now and then. The one where the dude comes in, drops his hat, and he fucking goes like struts up and he just blasts and he eats this fucking toilet paper or paper towel roll like into next year, and then picks up the stool and goes to slam it. That's like the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Besides that midget stripper, that was the funniest shit.
Oh, dude, that's a way to make Kendo break. We'll show it one day on the show, on our last episode ever.
Yep.
That's how we'll close out our legacy.
Watch me laugh uncontrollably.
Yeah. We'll film it and put it on Patreon right now. John Thomas, thank you very much for your super chat. John says, I liked and shared that Bollywood Batman video to Jeff. Now all the Bollywood superhero movie clips are on my feed. Weird. 310 to Frost.
That's a good movie. Both of them, the original and the new one. Well, new one that's 17 years old, but the remake.
I'm guilty of only seeing the remake.
The original is pretty good if you can handle watching like a 1950s, 60s black and white cowboy movie.
I can.
Then you'll like it.
Yeah, it all just depends on the acting. I don't care if
I think it's longer. Because I think that the remake is like 2 hours. I think the original is like 3.5. It's a fucking long movie, but it moves along at a pretty good pace.
Well, the remake of True Grit may not top the original, but Jeff Bridges was a good Rooster Cogburn.
My dad loves Westerns. He watched the new True Grit, the remake of it, because he likes Jeff Bridges a lot. And he did not shit on that movie. So that tells me it's probably a pretty good movie, because when they were remaking The Magnificent Seven, he sent me a message and said, how the hell can they replace a cool character like Yul Brynner? I'm like,
Chris
I
Pratt.
don't know, Dad.
Yeah, they replaced him with Denzel. That's what that one was.
Was it Denzel?
I think Denzel was the lead. Chris Pratt wasn't Star-Lord yet, or was just Star-Lord. And they, I don't care. It was a forgettable movie. I watched it once.
It's a hard movie to replace because there's a lot of big names in that original that were heavy fucking hitters back in the day. That it's like, how do you replicate that magic on the screen with those people in that movie? I mean, you're talking like A-list people of Westerns. Charles Bronson, Steve McQueen, the King of Cool, Yul Brynner, Robert Vaughn, James Coburn.
James Coburn's cool.
Eli Wallach. No, that was the fucking spaghetti westerns.
Yeah. He was the ugly. Well, the character, not his look. No offense to the estate of Eli Wallach.
Yeah.
But, John, thank you for sharing that meme. I'm sorry for the way social media has treated you, but I love a good Bollywood parody, AI generated or not. It's the gift that keeps on giving, and it's not the Jelly of the Month Club.
I found the Superman one, and I sent it to Nick, and I was like, hey, Nick, is this type of shit they do in Arabia? And he responded the way I expected him to, which is, how the hell should I know?
Yeah. Nick is as American as we are, because he's born here, too. I think he's a little more American than me. I mean, he lives in the South, so...
Yeah, he was born in Tennessee, which is the furthest south of any of us.
I know. I can't really go there that often. Actually, I have no issues with Tennessee. There's nothing there for me. Enrique Vesca says, Jeff sent you an email. I don't know why YouTube is censoring. Well, Enrique, do me a favor. Check your phone. I gave you my personal email address so I can read it on my phone and read it on air. Rod Thunderheart says, who's been a member for 13 months. Thank you, Rod. Hail, WCBS. Original IP, a Spanish teacher who can become invisible when angry, but when aroused, just happens. But when it aroused, it just happens. She's shocked to find her new gym teacher is blind, but can see her. Friesen Press and STL2. Now, hold on a second, Rod. I think I found the book the other day when I was in here doing something. Yep, here it is. Yes, I actually have Rod Thunderheart's See-Through Love. See, folks, I like to support other creators. You know, for all the people that back Stealing Solo, I like to back books like this. So we have See-Through Love right here by Rod Thunderheart. Clearly a pro wrestler by trade. And you can check it out, too. I have no issue spreading the word about some work out there for everybody.
That's what STL meant. I thought he was like saying St. Louis, too. And I'm like, yeah, go St. Louis Blues.
Boogaloo.
Go Blues.
But thank you, Rod Thunderheart. Overkill161 says, a Christmas movie pitch. A WWE Christmas Carol with AI Macho Man as the ghost of Jacob Marley. Ooh, yeah. Button 77, please.
I'd watch that.
Dude, I would watch the shit out of that. I don't care if people are like, that's offensive to the legacy of Macho Man. Macho Man would be on board if you had Macho Man's ghost as the ghost of Christmas, like, coming out in chains. Ooh, yeah, Elizabeth.
Yeah, I think he would fucking love to do that shit.
Dude, I am all about Macho Man Randy Savage. I was actually playing a game of 2K24 before the show started. Macho Man versus Dusty Rhodes. Macho Man's just better. I'm sorry. Like, no disrespect to the Rhodes legacy, but come on, man. The Macho Man.
The Macho Man.
Yeah. Is he the greatest wrestler who's no longer alive?
I don't know, man. The Undertaker's dead. You know, he is a dead man, and he's had an amazingly long career. So, yeah, Undertaker's probably the greatest wrestler that's no longer alive because he spent his entire career as a dead man. So there you go.
Yeah, and he was walking the whole time too.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody else is doing much after they passed.
Nope.
All right, but who else would be in that movie? Who would be Scrooge? Because John Thomas says The Rock, but is The Rock right? I think The Rock should be like the ghost of Christmas
present. Yeah, I was going to say, that's Christmas present. Oh, shit, no. So, if he's the ghost of Marley, then it's only natural that Scrooge, his old business partner, would be the other mega power, Hulk Hogan.
That'd be perfect, because Hulk... No, The Rock shouldn't be in the movie. It should be all ghosts of wrestlers that Hogan kind of fucked over or buried in the past.
Yeah, that's what it should be. And the whole message is, Hulk Hogan, please stop lying. Most of the shit that you lie about, we have either people that are still alive that can, rebut it, or the things you claim are, able to be seen on tape. So you'd have him as he would be Scrooge. Jacob Marley would be Randy Savage. The Ghost of Christmas Past would be Bobby Heenan. Ghost of Christmas Present would be Ted DiBiase's not. No, that's too fucked up. That would be the Ghost of Christmas Future. It'd be like, this is while people are going to remember you, because people remember me as a terrible wrestler and somebody that said a lot of bad things about gay people. Don't be like me.
But I just want him to, his entire time is cutting that WrestleMania 6 promo, Hulk Hogan! And he talks like that the entire time in a fucking cloak. You don't even see him. You just see a cloak and tassels and that voice, and you know if you're a fan. You're like, what the hell? I do agree, though, with the chat. Vince should be Scrooge. I mean, it should just be about all the people Vince screwed over, and there's no redemption at the end. He just gets metaphorically shit on by Shane McMahon.
Yeah, that could work, too.
Now, here is number 77, Overkill 161.
Rick and Scott Steiner, let me welcome you back.
Oh, Team 3D, you guys are out of your mind. Coming to Atlanta, Georgia, the place that the Steiner brothers got their start in professional wrestling. You guys are out of your mind, making it a table match, because tonight we're going to beat you at your own game. And after it's all said and done, you're going to be taking splinters out of your fat asses all night long, because you got some fat asses. The only chance you have no chance, but you had a chance, is if you can run lickety-split. Because you can't run because you got some fat asses. And after it's done, we're going to have a tailgate party for all my freaks out.
Yeah, we are. Thank you, Overkill161, for the best idea I've heard all year long. A
Yeah.
WWE Christmas Carol with Macho Man. Yeah. I think that's going to be a personal goal for 2025 is to do a better Macho Man impression. Because I listened to a couple of these really great ones on podcasts, and I'm just jealous. Not even for podcasting. I don't know. I want to be good at one. Xavier God asked, what is the best Christmas gift you got as an adult?
I don't know.
I mean, I got a PS4 as an adult. That was a good gift, but I want to give you something else.
I really don't know what the hell I got as an adult that would be the best Christmas gift. Because the wife and I, we don't really do gifts because we have everything we want. And instead of getting each other things, we just like take each other out for dinner. Or at least we did before we had a kid and we could do these things.
Aw.
It's all right. He'll be old enough soon that, he could go to a babysitter or just college. So, shit, I don't know. I'm racking my brain here thinking of like the best gift I ever gotten as an adult, and I couldn't even tell you.
Well, I'm going to say, for the sake of time, the PS4 was a pretty good Christmas gift. But what's on my shelf that I got for Christmas? Fuck. I don't know. I do birthday more than Christmas. So, like, I'll buy myself something for my birthday. Christmas, I'm just like, whatever. I'm just usually busy this time of year. Shit. I'll tell you the best Christmas gifts I ever got was Christmas '93, the Power Rangers. There'll be a book about that next year. That's my favorite Christmas present of all time because I got
Christmas 1988 Nintendo.
Turtles on Nintendo.
No, I got Turtles and shit for Christmas, but 88 was Nintendo, and that changed the entire trajectory of my life.
Yep, your thumbs have never been the same since. They still have the little nub on them.
I credit that for why I still have really good hand-eye coordination, even as a 40-year-old or 35-year-old. I mean, I played sports a lot when I was a kid, baseball mostly, and I was pretty good at it, so that helped. But I would say the fact that I can still game very well whenever I do and have time to, I say that's probably why I still have really good hand-eye coordination.
Same. And it's funny, too. In terms of gaming, I haven't really lost any of the ability. Sometimes you lose it, I'm too old to play football the way I used to, or this and that. I can still throw down. That's easy for me. It's not anything that I'm proud of, but I can still do it.
I also credit why I don't ever have nightmares. Because I read a thing about it because I was like, you'll have bad dreams, I will. But I always find a way of getting out of it. And I read a thing that said that people that spent most of their free time gaming they understand what's going on a little bit better in their dreams, and they're able to override it and control it because to them it's just like playing a game. I'm like, why can't I control the good dreams then whenever I just magically show up at the Playboy Mansion? That never happens.
Because the Playboy Mansion's a lie. It's no longer the Playboy Mansion.
That's true.
But if I could go back in time with a lot of fame, I would be there all the time. If I could be world famous in 1983, if I was Chevy Chase famous, I would never have been married. I'd have just hung out at the Playboy Mansion the whole time, and then, I don't know, died by 1995.
That's pretty much what I would do, too. If I would have gotten rich, I would be like, not going to deal with this bullshit. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want and whomever I want because I can afford it.
Yeah, I invested in computers and just so happened to be on Saturday Night Live, and now I'm the world's most famous rich man ever. I would change the course of history. And then, I don't know, I'd be dead because I'd party too hard. Anyway, OBOCC Fanfiction says, Black Series Vice Admiral Holdo Fund. We need to save them, boys. Top investment of 2024.
That wasn't even a good investment in 2019.
Yeah. Folks, if you ever have invested in a Star Wars anything since 2015, I can tell you from not only just knowing how these things work, but talking to owners of toy collecting stores, they do not even pay for this shit. You got to remember, aftermarket value for a lot of things go up in price. Hell, some Star Wars stuff goes up in value. I got a Qui-Gon Jinn in the box. I thought, I'll finally open this and put him next to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now he jumped up to $80. I thought, leave it in the box. Who knows? But all of that stuff that they told you was great isn't great. But I do have Rose Tico. The whole market is cornered by me. So if you need to get a Rose Tico in the future, I'll trade you a Rose Tico for like a Corvette or your house. Yeah, I'll get you both. If you need 2 Rose Ticos and you got a house to trade, I'll hook you up.
Mm-hmm.
No, it would be funny if all this Ollie shit in the future was valuable, but you know
It won't be.
it's overproduced like a mofo. And look, the Acolyte stuff is at not Ollie's, excuse me, it's at Ross Dress for Less, which means, folks, that if I say, oh man, something's on clearance at Target, that means it's done at Target. But when it's already shown up at Ross Dress for Less, that means it's already in the secondary market, meaning it's out of the market. Like, it's dead. It's never going to have a resurgence. These people on Twitter aren't going to go, oh, let's rally against this show or save this show. It's like, it's dead. Like the Skeleton Crew. Not even a bad show. Nobody cares. It's kind of weird how they've killed that brand, and this is clarification of it. Because you get all these white knight assholes. Oh, you can't critique this show. These are children. No one's critiquing the kids. The show's fine, but Star Wars has no rhyme or reason anymore. So there's nothing to even say. Yeah, they use their vehicles or their properties as vehicles for promotion or propaganda, whatever you want to say.
Yep.
It didn't work. You can't deny it anymore. It's the truth.
It was a bad plan.
Yeah. Good job, Kathleen Kennedy. Good job. Now, Kendo, people really seem to like the idea of time traveling. So it's let's see. What was I trying to say? Like we're talking about time traveling and the Playboy idea. They were saying the 60s. What era of Playboy model would you go for?
Oh, let's see. Pre-80s, because I don't have to worry about getting the bug.
Oh, yeah.
I would say 70s, because there was still some of that free spirit. They're not completely shaven down there. So, kind of like some of that. You don't want to go through with a machete, but, it's nice,
You want an adult.
Yeah, like walking around in the grass in your bare feet. I'm just saying.
Make fists with your feet?
Correct.
Walking on the rug?
With your toes, yeah. I would go with 70s. I wouldn't do the disco shit. I'd just watch. But, yeah, we'll go with 70s. 70s seems like it would probably be the best time to go.
It would be fun. I would enjoy it the same. The models from the 70s or 80s are both awesome. The only reason I picked the 80s is because, like, it seems like a more fun decade.
There's definitely a lot more excesses that we know about in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you go to the Playboy Mansion in the 80s, there's gonna be a lot of coke. If you go I feel like if you went in the 60s, it's like all ketamine and like weed. If you go in the 70s, now you're talking like probably some acid, maybe a little PCP, some weed, maybe uppers, downers, all arounders, everything. Whereas in the 80s, it's just like coke fueled. And then by the time it gets to the 90s, they've course corrected. It's still there, but it's not as explicit.
Dion, if you could time travel to any era of Playboy to hang out at the mansion, what decade would it be?
I don't think he's hearing us.
Oh. No, we're not. Oh.
Now we can't hear him.
Damn it, we're talking about stuff you like, my friend.
Yeah, naked white women, and he can't even respond to it. He just has to sit there and smile. He's just got to sit there and smile back, naked white women.
He picks every decade. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Hugh Hefner's going to let him in, too, because Hugh Hefner was that kind of guy.
Yeah. Be like, hey, Dion, what decade would you go to? His answer is yes.
I'd pass on the 50s. I don't even know when Hugh or Hef bought the actual mansion, so.
I don't know. The 60s is when it really took off because that's when they had Marilyn Monroe in it.
No, the 50s. She's in the first issue.
She's in the 50s? Okay, I thought it was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because she's dead in 62.
Yeah, man. She did not make it to be an old lady.
Yeah, she didn't get to see Nam and all the horrible idea that was.
Never mind. I'm not going to make it.
Or that her boyfriend JFK got ventilated.
Oh, God. Thanks, Xenia Onatop. So, folks, we're going to give Dion a couple of moments to get his tech set up because this.
I think he's on delay too.
Oh no!
All right, they're on now.
Wait, we hear you.
Yeah, now we
There
hear
we
him.
Okay. We're cool. We're good.
It's a
We're
little
good.
choppy.
And we're there.
You are choppy.
And not in the Val Venus pee way.
I was gonna say like Kai and Tai. Well, we still can't hear you, buddy.
Mm.
I know, right?
Just go pour some bourbon on your modem. That'll fix it.
Yeah, that fixes everything. Here, let me give you this liquid death through the camera, and that'll fix your computer.
Yeah. I still got some Oktoberfest left over. Just go ahead and pour that on there. It should fix it right up.
I got this bottle of Jack from last week I haven't touched, Dion. It's all yours, buddy. No, I'm not going to pull a Belushi and drink this straight. I've been watching a lot.
He was talking, and I'm like, nope, can't hear you.
Folks, should I take back Dion's Christmas presents and buy him a new mic for Christmas? That'd be a horrible gift.
Folks, how about this? Folks, from now on till the end of the show, everything you send in as a super chat will go into the Dion Blue Yeti Fund.
Yeah, that would be a business expense on the channel.
I thought he had a microphone. Didn't he have one that was like attached to his desk and hanging down? Did he break it?
I think he RKO'd it one night. Like, I fight my technology. That's why my light electrocuted me, because I called its mother a whore.
I could see that Dion watching a Lions game where they didn't win and it was like a heartbreaker and he fucking speed bags his damn microphone and now it don't work no more.
Good God Almighty, that microphone had a family. Not anymore, it doesn't.
Nope.
This is my favorite part about live internet. It's just, but the audience understands it too. It's not like we're on Saturday Night Live or one of these shows that's like, or I don't know, what else is live? The Olympics? Well, no, the Olympics is on a delay. Nothing.
Nope.
Hashtag Mike for Dion. Let's get that trending, folks. Let's get it trending.
What about now?
Yes. We'll deal with the delay.
Shit, Dion's got 3 hands and one of them's a lot lighter.
So
That's weird.
Delay, damn. Okay. Well, yeah. We'll
No, now he's.
Well,
I think he's even now. He's even now. I think he's even now.
Okay.
He's back.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Comic book hero in the end.
Still a little clippy.
Huzzah.
Well, what?
No, now he's gone again. Gotta love
So you lost me
technology. Maybe you're back at that time.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we're back.
Well, you're
like
back. Welcome in, Dion.
He sounds like he's on one of those Nextels from like 20 years ago where you would like walkie-talkie each other and like half the time it would come through and the other time
they came with
be like every other word.
Word thing, that was fantastic. Absolutely fun. Another remnant of the 2000s, like so many movies that we have to deal with now.
So let me pull up a picture on screen because that way we can get things rolling. Dion, all you missed was a Die Hard Christmas debate, the Hawk to a Girl, and I guess we got into the fleeting nature of internet culture because it's stupid. But hey, it's good to make a quick buck.
Yes.
So let's talk about a movie that isn't going to make a quick buck, a slow buck.
It makes a lot of people a lot of money.
Yeah, that's the metric of success these days, I guess. So, Dion, you and I both suffered through a little film called Kraven the Hunter. Now, folks, I'm a diehard comic book fan. Clearly, that's why I make my books. Right here is a copy of Kraven's Last Hunt. Yes, it's... God damn it, tits and art, you're all over. Anyway, Kraven's Last Hunt is a favorite story of mine. I like the character. I'm not just pulling this out because, hey, the movie's topical. But I went into this with very low expectations. I mean, like, bottom of the barrel. And somehow, they weren't even met. So I'm going to let Dion go first, and then he can tell you what he thought of this movie, and then I'll go. So, Dion, what did you think of Kraven's Last Hunt?
I enjoyed it overall. I did not feel... going into it, obviously knowing what's going on in the history of the studio that owns it and all that, which many people are not very interested in. But in terms of paying money to watch a film, I liked it. It is It is everything that you assume goes into a movie, and it is everything that you expect when they just follow it by the number. But I enjoyed it. It is. It wasn't awful. It wasn't terrible. You could definitely describe it quickly and without a lot of complex description. It is a movie that happens to deal with a character within the Spider-Man universe.
Now, I thought that it was the guy who played Kraven did a good job. He is not a problem for me. I like Aaron Taylor Johnson. But folks, the movie villain is the Rhino. Now you think of the Rhino as the big guy in the Rhino suit tearing up New York City. In this movie, he is some jabroni who wears a backpack the whole movie because if he lets himself get off of his medicine, he will develop his skin condition, which turns him into the Rhino. And that is the big climactic battle. Kraven fights the Rhino. He stabs him in his catheter port. That kills the Rhino after he gets trampled by some wildebeests in Africa. This fucking movie, man.
If you were a 90s child and you grew up into adulthood in the 2000s as we did, you would have come across a movie by the name of Daredevil starring this generation's Batman, Ben Affleck. And if you watch Kraven the Hunter and then you go home and you quickly, you finish your drink from the movie, and if you got a little sweet thing, a little side piece, invite her over, and good to see you, and then y'all sit on the couch and immediately watch Daredevil, you'll be like, it's the same type of movie. It is. This happens, then this happens, then this happens because of those things that did happen, and then this happens because of that thing, and this happens because of that thing, and then there's a climax and then end of the movie. And the way that he described how the Rhino dies is not hyperbolic at all. It was accurate to. If you could describe this is how a movie ends, that's how it ends, and it's not that bad. Shoot. I enjoyed it.
Well, I was fine when it was Aaron Taylor Johnson. There's like a 30-minute subplot where they do a flashback and they show you Kraven the Hunter and the Chameleon as little kids, and I'm sitting there going like, man, this kid can't act. Man, this other kid can't act. Man, this CGI lion looks like shit. Oh, great, Calypso's in this movie. Awesome. What? Okay. Like, it's like if you want Kraven the Hunter in broad strokes, you get it, but he's also an altruistic hero who fights crime. So when you go to have a universe of villains and you have movies based on them, you have to make someone the lesser of the evils. And so the lesser of the evils is Kraven, who is now this like vegetarian hero. Like there's a scene where everyone else is eating steaks and Kraven's got his big ol' salad and he's like a friend to the animals. And the problem is like he is
eat fish.
Well, yeah, but like he's a pescatarian. Excuse me. He won't eat beef. He won't eat anything else. He captures a fish and like fillets it and eats it with his knife, and then later on he goes to dinner. He's got his big old salad. I'm like, all right, Kraven, whatever. You're Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. But he is a fine actor. He looks the part. He did a good job getting in shape for it. He doesn't wear this outfit at all in the movie. He puts on that vest in the last like 5 seconds, but he doesn't wear the gauntlets and shit together with it. So you're not even getting sold what's in the commercial. And that 8-minute trailer that they put out like 2 weeks ago isn't exactly the first 8 minutes of the movie because it did not have that. I'm pretty sure it didn't have that scene with him looking at the wolf in the snow and something else was different. And I'm like, all right, if he's gonna start...
No, the wolf in the snow was in the actual movie, where it showed like him looking at the wolf in the snow and there was like the shit going on. Literally, he gets out of the prison and he looks at the wolf and they look at each other and the wolf's like, and the wolf just walks away.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It was, folks, there's a reason why that the Sony Villainverse from Spider-Man is dead. these movies have not really made a positive impact in society. Like, I will say Madam Web was so bad it was good. Like, it was hokier than shit. It made no sense. I laughed my ass off. This movie, it's better than Madam Web, but that's not really a compliment. Like, I thought Morbius was shit. I thought Venom 2 was pretty crappy. Like, if we're gonna rank these, I'm gonna go like Venom. These aren't even good movies. Ugh. Morbius is at the bottom. Then Madam Web. Then Venom 2. Then Kraven. Then Venom 1, right? That's all of them? Like, I'm never going to go back and watch these unless I'm with Dion drunk.
I did not watch Venom Web yet.
You didn't watch what?
Yeah, I mean, that's still a good plan. I did not watch Madam Web yet. I have not watched Last Dance. Venom. That being said, I would not, in terms of watching these movies from that ironclad perspective, yeah, not great. That being said, and I actually really liked Let There Be Carnage. If you watch these movies as this is the way that Hillary had this conversation on the way back. If you liked Cutthroat Island, you'll like this movie. If you like things like, obviously it's become very cool to like the shit at the time, a la Blade in Deadpool and Wolverine. This is that again. We're just seeing the bare bones. This is a movie based on a comic book character thing that somehow hasn't died, and Sony is holding on to that. We don't know why, and that's why these movies haven't been always very good. And you're not wrong, but it's the remnants of that time, 100%. And even with that, it's not that bad. I enjoyed it. And to your point, though, why you're not wrong, Hillary hated it. She didn't like the movie at all. And she was sitting there, I would leave and go get something to drink, come back and be like, yeah, I'll take that bad. And when I came back the second time, Hillary was sitting there, and she had this look on her face. It's like, this motherfucker made me come see this movie. And that is, if you are on the other side of that coin, this is, you know what, the perfect way to explain it, because of the way you're looking at me, the way he's looking at me. For those out there listening in the world,
if you can understand, Dion.
What was the name of it?
Kraven the Hunter.
I want the whole movie.
You can't remember
I know what it was. I want
the movie.
The whole name. Kraven the Hunter. Kraven the Hunter is the real life application of a Twilight Zone episode. Like, they understand how to make a movie, and it's a comic book movie, and it's like the people who are just like mindless machines, they made it. And it's just, that's Kraven the Hunter. That's Kraven the Hunter. And I enjoy it within that perspective. I'll say that.
Well, that's the thing. This movie is not like a frustrating movie to watch. It's just dumb. Because a good movie tends to have some decent exposition, and it makes sense for character motivation, and that's why the characters act the way they do. A lot of stuff, and I know this is what happens in every movie technically, but I use this as a pejorative. Like, stuff just happens. It doesn't really make sense. Like, for example, why did Calypso, the lawyer, basically break the law to help Kraven? Like, she talked about trying, they don't really give any reasons. Like, in a movie, people will be like, oh man, I'm weighing this moral choice, and it adds weight to their decision. It's just like, yeah, I'll help you kill people. Yeah, I'll do this. Yeah, I'll do that. Oh, hey. And who was the bad guy? The one that could 1, 2, 3, and then hypnotize people? Because I read Spider-Man. I knew who the fuck that was supposed to be. Who?
Yep. The Foreigner.
Okay, I am terrible then, because I don't know who the hell the Foreigner is. I'll tell you this. I thought that the
I read comic books,
chameleon...
baby. That's why I'm on the show.
I read them, I make them. I was like, who the fuck is this? I probably have the issues with the Foreigner.
He literally is a side character.
Let's see. The Foreigner from Spider-Man. Do I have this book?
He was not in very many issues. I just remember him from the fucking background that is Spider-Man. I think he was married to, I want to say Silver Sable. I think that's correct. But yeah, he is literally, in terms of, like I said before, this is how you make a movie with, like, this is like, hey, we're going to make a movie within the Spider-Man universe, and then we're going to use other characters that are in that universe. And it's this computer that just makes them. And that is the Foreigner. I don't remember that very much, but I know the whole like Hunter-esque thing was his thing with Spider-Man, and that's literally it. And it's just it is Sony. Sony hit lightning in the bottle with Spider-Man, and that was
because Spider-Man.
It. And again, I was not amazed or surprised or even bewildered to see the name of Avi Arad as an executive producer in this movie.
Well, Dion, you are 100% correct. He is married to Silver Sable. I do have this comic book. Come on now, look at the Foreigner, how generic he is. He looks like, if you change the color of his gloves in his boots and put a skull on his chest, it's just the Punisher. That's all this character is. That's why I forgot. The Foreigner is going to get help from the spectacular Spider-Man, even if it kills them both. Well, this movie won't kill you. It won't make you stronger. It won't even entertain you that much. But I gotta say, if I gotta give it the rating of skip it, stream it, physical media, I'm gonna give it a stream it if you're inebriated and you're trying to watch something. It's like, you know how we love to ironically or unironically watch those shitty made-for-TV movies with like Casper Van Dien? This is one of those films where it's that level of quality, folks. It's clearly made to hold on to rights. It's got, like, Russell Crowe. This is what people would call a paycheck movie. Like, Russell Crowe in it for the paycheck. Aaron Taylor Johnson did a great job, looks the part, but did it for the paycheck. This isn't and the guy who plays the Rhino is a shitty casting choice. I think he's in a bunch of shit. He's like a comedic actor. It'd be like getting Rob Riggle to play. Rob Riggle would have been a better choice, because the whole movie is about fathers and sons and strengths and weaknesses, and the weakness of this film was its existence, and its strength was its ending. There was no end credit sequence. There was nothing that's gonna, because look, it's over. You went into this movie deflated, like, it's like Aquaman 2. Well, they're done with the DCEU, so whatever. Like, we're done with this Sonyverse, whatever. Like, next year we're going to get Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland, and we're going to move forward, and we're never going to remember these. These will be the type of movies that people go back and make YouTube videos about in 10 years. Did you know that Sony once tried to do a shared universe of villains? And you'll go, yeah, I watched them, they sucked, and I forgot about them, and that's a good thing. And so that's kind of where we are. And the Chameleon wore his suit. So people asked about Miles Warren. Miles Warren, the Jackal, is mentioned in this movie but never seen. They keep talking about a doctor in New York. And so the Rhino was considered weak by Kraven's dad, and he wanted to get strength. So he went to this guy in New York, and he basically turned him into the Rhino. And to counteract the pain from the Rhino transformation, he is wearing a backpack the whole time. He looks like a Jehovah's Witness that comes up and asks you to sign up for their church. It was like he wears black pants, a white button-down shirt, and this like little black backpack. And you're like, this is a villain? He looks like a nerd, but whatever. And then after the movie's climax, there's like a tacked-on 10-minute sequence, and you see the Chameleon, because the Kraven's brother is the Chameleon, like he is in the comic book, and he owns a bar. And at the end of the movie, Kraven goes to the bar to see his brother again after the death of their father. And yeah, Russell Crowe gets eaten by a bear. That's pretty cool. And all of a sudden, he like turns around and he looks just like Kraven. And you see Aaron Taylor Johnson's head on this little tiny body. And then he presses his cheek again, and his face morphs into the Chameleon's mask. And then it morphs back into his face. So the Chameleon is now he augments himself. He doesn't wear the mask. He doesn't really have technology to do it. He just literally has that super power. The only thing he did organically was he could change his voice. Even as a kid, he was able to mimic his dad, and he would call Kraven on the phone and prank him. This is your father. What animal fears man, or some bullshit he said a couple times in the movie. Like, it's not the worst movie I've seen this year. That will go to The Crow. But somebody asked me, I forgot Venom 3. I'd watch this before I'd watch Venom 3 again. What about you, Dion?
I still have to watch Venom 3. I think that all was not inaccurate, albeit dramatic.
We're on the
Overall,
internet.
especially
If
with
I
these
wanted
type
to
of films.
if I wanted to give straight answers like did I like it, yes, no, nobody would watch. You got look at people are here to be entertained, either at our takes or our microphone fails or Kendo's complete lack of interest in this topic. Like, look, they need to be entertained. It's 2024. We spent 20 minutes talking about how shitty this year was.
I get it.
Crazy
I get it. You're describing whether or not that.
I don't know. He cut out. What are you?
Interesting. I'm not saying you're wrong. I get that part. Whether it's interesting or not, I think definitely for sure with these type of movies, especially where we are theatrically, it is you're gonna get some of these, and that hey, again, it's very fitting that it's Avi Arad that deals with it. I think The Crow is very appropriate to bring up in this context. It is. You're not wrong that it's not good. Very good. At the same time, the whole thing with the father-son things. Yeah, he's right, but at least they give you a description. If by the numbers specifically, he is the son and there's the brother, and then they give you just enough description for the wife. It is. Make no mistake, this movie is definitely written like they had a limit on dialogue. They're like, don't go over this limit, but we have to describe everything, and then they just made the movie. And it's not. It is. This movie is definitely a B-level action movie that you would have watched on Netflix. I would not say go spend a movie to see it in theaters, but definitely, like Jeff said, if you enjoy having a few beers and going to see the movie, Kraven scratches that itch. Kraven the Hunter. You're not going to forget about it. It's not. It's not the type of movie in the way that Dread was, where it wasn't successful, but it was a good movie. But damn, it's gonna lose some money, and it's a fun B action movie. It's not Morbius bad for sure. It definitely isn't. Amazing Spider-Man bad, where people pretended to like it, but it is a generic ass movie that has Aaron Taylor Johnson without a t-shirt on, and it's if you're into that shit, it's pretty good.
I'm not. As Kendo spins around, Kendo, unmute yourself and help save the audio of this show.
Well, I'd like to say that I did not watch Raven the Hunter. Probably won't. Read some of the comics with him in it. He was a cool character. The movie never. I'm kind of past the comic book movies now because there's too damn many of them, and there's been too many crappy ones lately. I did read an interesting article earlier today that was like the top grossing sequels of all time, and number one was Infinity War, or was it Endgame? It was Endgame, and Infinity War was like third or fourth, but it was kind of a bastardized list because like Star Wars The Force Awakens counted as a sequel movie as opposed to what you would generally consider an actual true sequel. So that's all I got about comic book movies. I didn't watch Kraven the Hunter, probably won't watch Kraven the Hunter, and it was just fun listening to you guys go back and forth about Kraven the Hunter. One loved it, one didn't, and I kind of expected that was going to happen, and yeah. So, folks, what did you think of it if you've watched it? You probably haven't because you're here watching us.
Yeah, they don't want to spend time watching that. But if you
big
do,
ups to the dude that just gifted 5 memberships. That's good for you, sir.
Lord of the
Possums.
Thank you. He says hi and also has gifted 5. So, folks, if you get a membership from Lord of Opossums, make sure you pay it forward by saying thank you. We have an awesome community here on WCBS, and we couldn't have it without you guys. So, Lord of Opossums.
Dion just imploded over his upsettedness at Jeff not liking Kraven the Hunter. But by the way, I have a real quick question about Lord of Opossums. If he's the Lord, does that mean he has a possum kingdom? Are we talking to Toad the Wet Sprocket here?
Ooh. There we go.
Yeah.
Kendo's doing a little investigative research on the air right now.
Some fucking deep cuts, too, for people. They're like, holy shit. I'm like, yeah, listen to Lithium every once in a while. You'll understand.
That's why you're world class, Kendo. That's why you're world class.
Yeah, I am literally. We talk about time traveling. My like social cultural awareness thing is stunted to 1999. So, fun fact: my prep hours during lunch hour as well. So I get like an 90-minute break every day. And for the last few days, while I ate lunch and played around on my computer and occasionally read, I've been watching videos of election night coverage from years gone by. And essentially, it was like the calls of different states. And today I watched 1992 because it's like I remember the election of 1992. My family was very much pro Bill Clinton because we were mad at George Bush, apparently, for the no new taxes. And it was fun. And then after that, I watched 1996, where we were a house divided. Half the family was pro Bill Clinton, my mother, and the other half was all about Bob Dole. And yeah, so it was fun because I knew that was going to be an ass beating, and it was because that election was over by about 8 o'clock in the east when the polls in the central part of the country closed. And it's just fun. I've enjoyed that. So, folks, if you feel like going down memory lane, it is awesome to go back and watch election night coverage videos all over YouTube where they do all the state calls and everything like that. And if you really want to enjoy yourself, go watch 1984. That election is over as soon as the polls close in the east because Ronald Reagan beat the shit out of Walter Mondale. Nothing against Fritz. He seemed like a really nice guy. Reagan was super fucking popular in 1984.
I mean, he was an actor.
It's true. And I was surprised to find out that Jerry Lewis was not, in fact, the vice president.
Nor Jane Wyman, the first lady. It was that Nancy Reagan, psycho hose beast.
Yes.
Now, your free time is a little more interesting than mine. I've been going down the dead internet rabbit hole, and it is awesome.
Nice. I
check
also was in a rabbit hole. I found a video where they were like investigating like famous missing person cases, and I ended up in a spiral. I'm like, I don't think I should have this on my computer at work. So I'm going to go back to wholesome things like why people haven't gone back and salvaged the Titanic. I know why, and election night coverage from 40 years ago.
Well. Thank you, Lord of Opossums, for all the gifted memberships you've given. Our friend Adama says, "Hey, guys, Jeff, did you hear about the reveal of who Jude Law's character is in the Skeleton Crew? I won't spoil it, but it's underwhelming." Well, I'm watching the Skeleton Crew. There's no reason to make content because you guys don't watch it, so what the hell. But he's a pirate, but not a pirate, or a Jedi. Like, I'm watching the show. I'm sure whoever gets these episodes a week early, I mean, they go on about stuff. Like, they're like, oh, man, the gay parents. I have spent more time talking about the gay parents than they are in the episode. That being said, this show is fine. Like, fine is not a... Like, look, there's the definition of fine. Like, man, that girl's fine. Or, this meal, it was fine. But then, like, fine on a TV show is like scraping the bottom of positivity for me. Is it better
okay
than
to watch it
Acolyte?
once?
Yeah. It put it like this. It's a show, if people have the option to watch it, I'd say... watch it when it all has dropped. You choose how to consume it yourself. But the kid actors are fine. The special effects are solid. And it's Jude Law. I like Jude Law, so he's a pretty good actor. But it's kind of like it's too late. If you would have put this out after Mandalorian Season 1, you could have had a winner and a good second place. And you'd be like, okay, maybe these Star Wars shows are all right. But then you give us bullshit like Book of Boba Fett and Ahsoka and all these ones that you guys hate, and The Acolyte, which is tumultuous and controversial and crappy. And then you're here where it's like, oh, this one's not that bad, but like, why would I watch it? Because I've been burned too many times. That's where I think everybody is with Disney Star Wars, and hey, rightly so. How did you find us? That stuff. So believe me, I know what's up. But the only way they could really pull the rug out from under me is if
they made something good.
Yeah, like, oh man, this was an awesome show. Like, that would blow me away. Like, I do think everybody's putting their eggs in the basket of Andor Season 2. I don't expect it to be the game changer. I don't think Andor Season 1 was as great as other people say. I think it's interesting, more interesting than other things they put out, but it doesn't reach the same highs as The Mandalorian Season 1 for me. Dion, are you watching the show at all? The Skeleton Crew?
I watched the first episode. I'm cherry picking the episodes so far, which I think the way you describe it is fine. Yeah, it is definitely it's Star Wars property by definition, and I like Jude Law.
How much money are you getting for D2 playing that main kid? Like, what is the royalty? Like, is his college paid for now?
It is definitely enough to Not mind the internet comments. That's for damn sure. Your boy is doing all right.
Yeah, folks. Dion is a Disney dad now. His kids in Star Wars, and hey, can you blame him? No, but
Enough that
honestly,
they know what it is. Not enough to be like, I like that.
They're just there. It's like, hey, Star Wars is for old people. That's kind of where it is now. It's like, yeah, folks, we were amazed by what Star Wars was. God, almost 30 years for me. I've been a fan since '95, but it is what it is. It's not fun to watch, and I don't enjoy it regularly. So maybe I'll do an end of season an end of season Skeleton Crew thing. It just depends. Let's talk about something. Xavier to God, thank you. Aaron Taylor Johnson will always be Kick-Ass to me. I thought of him today when in Kraven he's laying on the ground. I was like, hey, Kick-Ass is hurt. So that's what I thought of too.
That's how Hillary remembers him. Obviously, despite, to be fair, we do have MCU Quicksilver, but yeah, it is very funny seeing it's Kick-Ass once again in a Kick-Ass movie.
I wouldn't be mad if Aaron Taylor Johnson played James Bond. I think he's a good actor and he does the action well. Like I don't sit and go, oh man, this is the greatest actor I've ever seen. But when he does the action stuff, I go, well, this guy clearly cares. He tries to make the action look believable, and he can do the comedic timing. So it would be more enjoyable than Daniel Craig for me because I was burnt out on that dude by the last one. Just sucked so much. Casino Royale's good.
Yeah, listen, I like Aaron Taylor Johnson a lot. Obviously, he's a weird dude, and let your weird flag fly, buddy. But yeah, I would not be mad at him really in any action movie setting. It's no different in Kraven. He gets his perpetual half quarter turned shirt off shot, and he fills that role well. And to that being said, I would 100%. I agree. I would watch him as James Bond. And with Daniel Craig, my problem was never Daniel Craig. It was those movies, a lot of those movies were just not written well. And the last one was just not good at all. No one cared to say it it wasn't that good. But, Aaron Taylor Johnson, I'd give him a go. He's Kraven. Like, screw it. I'd be cool with him being he's Kraven in this universe. They are still trying to build.
Well, it's too late because that shit is over.
And listen.
No, Dion, they officially announced it, like in the news. It's done. Like it's done. Like right, it's not an opinion. Right. It's dead in the water, which I'm happy about because we could get focused shit again.
Well, it is. Listen, baby, if you think that Sony at this stage and age is going to be that focused again, you got another thing coming. That being said, again, I would not, the way that where Sony is, especially because again, they're clearly pulling up the remnants of the early 2000s because Avi Arad was involved in this damn movie, so shit like this, especially that Novocaine shit that's coming out.
That looks decent.
I'm interested. This was it is very this was I feel like this was Sony's Flash where it's like they made it, fuck it, and at the same time, this universe is dying. It's dead. It's gone.
We hardly knew ye. Thank you to
we knew ye very well. You just weren't that good.
You were that dude that came into the party and would talk shit to everybody because you're insecure, but you wanted to put off like some confidence, and nobody liked you and nobody invited you back. So, fuck off, pal.
Not you. I want to go that far. You're getting kind of personal.
Not to you. That never happened to either of us.
No, not to me. I'm just like, he was just, that dude who was.
No, I'm talking about the Sony movies, like as a whole.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't that bad,
bro.
It wasn't that dude.
The Crow is that dude. Okay, that's what it is. The Crow, man. That
again, I think the Crow. I think it's perfect that you keep bringing that movie up.
It's the worst movie of the year.
Listen, make no mistake. I'm not saying that The Crow is good. That's not my argument. I'm saying that those movies all live in the same damn Venn diagram.
Of
I
shit.
think it is perfect that you bring that up. It's made the same way. That being said, these movies, that is the by the book number way to make a film that studios are going to stick with. And again, it's not great, but they're gonna, this isn't going to go away because Kraven sucked. If you just want a in the background movie, that's what this is. But it's not like it ain't going to disrespect your mama type of movie.
Didn't Dion like The Crow though?
I like the later 30% of The Crow. I didn't like the whole movie. I agree, the movie wasn't great. When he finally became The Crow, I was, especially with the whole he's holding the heads at the opera. I liked that part.
Yeah,
and that
you
movie
know what?
is not good at all.
Kraven had some cool parts, like when that dude got chopped through the dick, or all these people. Like, it was a violent movie. The action parts were cool. Like when he sneaks into a Turkish monastery on the side of a mountain and like crawls around like a cat, which kind of was funny looking, stupid honestly. But then he's like rolling around with a blow dart, hitting people in the neck, and doing all this shit. And you're like, okay, this is okay. And then then an RPG is coming out the window and he like dives out. He's invincible too. That's the part that makes me laugh. Like the Kraven the Hunter in the comic book is not invincible. Like a building essentially falls on this dude and he's just like, I'll block you. And like walls are falling like from the top of mountains and shit. He's like, let me block this guy.
Like, we've got the body of Kraven the Hunter. He's like, and then he's behind the guy. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Like that, like it is definitely that, but it is. Listen, if you like the movie Double Team with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dennis Rodman, this is that. Like this is, don't get me wrong, Jeff's not wrong, but this is what happens when you give UA Bull $130 million to make a movie. Like it is, like it's enjoyable from that perspective, and that's it. It just sucks that they're gonna lose. $90 million.
Does it suck or is it karma?
It's funny.
It's funny.
I think it's funny.
It's not. It is. This movie is the equivalent of The Quest with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like it's just this is what happens when the people who were able to make B action movies in the 90s were able to make blockbusters in the 2020s. That's Kraven the Hunter. This is a method of making money. This is not that you. This is everything that's wrong with making movies when they're just okay. Like this is Hitman 2007. It is a movie based on a property that you will recognize because we're shut. The way that the amount of times they say Calypso's name is like. This is if we say this name mathematically, this amount of time, like it's not a great movie, but it's not like offensive.
No, it's like I said, it's better than Morbius and Venom 2 and 3. Like Madam Web, I would watch Madam Web again though before I'd watch this because it's that stupid. Like when I come to visit Dion, we're gonna watch Madam Web completely annihilated, okay? Because it's funny. I was talking to my mom. She's like, "What are you and Dion gonna watch?" And I was like, "We're gonna watch action movies." Because I was watching Lethal Weapon the other day, thinking of you guys. But we gotta watch Madam Web, and I'm gonna make a short, folks. There you go. You can hear Dion's reaction. Oh, there goes my light. You can hear Dion's reaction after we watch Madam Web because I went to see Madam Web in an empty theater. This theater had so many people that I switched seats because they just so happened to pick all the seats next to me. I was like, I don't want to sit next to this strange old dude. Like, let me watch my Kraven in peace and eat my popcorn. But there was a turnout of probably 12 people in the theater versus 0. So that's something.
It was about 12 for us too. It was and we were in the extreme theater, which I think that whole theater is seated for a couple hundred. So. Maybe not a couple hundred, but it's a big ass extreme theater, and there was like 12 of us in there, so it was very much the same up here in the north, the Great White North of the Midwest.
Is it above 30 degrees where you are currently?
It is not.
Yeah, it's 23 here. So, let's check in with our wonderful audience. Thank you, folks. First off, Aurora Uplinks also gifted a membership. So, Aurora Uplinks, thank you very much, folks. If you accept the Aurora Uplinks membership, say thank you. Pass it forward. Pay it forward, if you will. R.I.P. Haley Joel Osment's character. Adama, thank you. Speaking of early internet, do you guys remember when Andy Milonakis was a celebrity? I do. I could almost wonder what happened to him. And it's me, Austin. I'll press the button for you in just a moment. Yeah, I remember Andy Milonakis. I used to watch his show. It was on MTV. And he was not a child. He was a grown man who looked weird.
Yes, I haven't thought of the name Andy Milonakis, and I don't know how long, because the girlfriend I had at the time, she worked at a video store, and I remember going there to hang out with her, but she was busy dealing with fucking customers. The job would have probably been great if it was for those customers. And I was looking at some movies, and there was the Andy Milonakis show, and I'm like, why does this child have a show? And I saw the super chat pop up, and I looked it up to see what is Andy Milonakis up to today. So Andy Milonakis was almost 30 years old when he made that show, and I thought he was a child in 2006. Come to find out, the dude's like 8 years older than me. So it's like, I don't know what he's up to today, and I don't care. Didn't care then, don't care now.
He streams on. He was on. My brain keeps wanting to say TikTok, Twitch for the longest time. He was one of those IRL streamers. He was involved with that. Not Sam I Am, that English motherfucker that was on. UK Big Brother, Sam, whatever, that did the butt pinching thing. He streamed with him a couple times. So he was big on Twitch. I think he's like on Kick and stuff. So our boy Andy is very much still within the interwebs of the interwebs, if you know what I'm saying. So
Right.
And doing the very same shtick, except now he's in his 40s doing the same thing. And it's going exactly how you imagine it.
So, anyway, while looking that up, I found a Wikipedia page because apparently Andy Milonakis has fame for tweeting out the 8th most liked tweet of all time from May 30th, 2020, where he got 3.4 million. And I think it would be fun to play a game called What is the Most Liked Tweet in History?
Oh, do you have that information in front of you?
I do.
I'm going to say the most liked tweet in history.
You can either say what it was or who did it.
I'm going to say who it's from. I'm going to say it's from Elon Musk.
Elon Musk has number 2. He's also got number 7 and number 11. And we're getting down to the nitty gritty, so I don't care. But he's got number 2, and that was next, I'm buying Coca-Cola to put the cocaine back in from April 27, 2022, right after he bought the tweeters, and that got 4.5 million likes.
All right, so Dion, who's your guess?
For
most liked
tweet of all time.
Who's it from?
Who do you think sent it out?
Shoot, most liked tweet of all time as ranked in 2024. Damn, that's a good. I'm gonna say it's 2024. Oh, I'm gonna say it's shoot. If it's not Ariana Grande, it'll be something goofy like Beyonce or something. Some bullshit.
It is not Beyonce. Unfortunately, it's kind of sad. The number 1 most liked tweet of all time with 6.7 million likes came on August 28th, 2020 from the family of Chadwick Boseman announcing that he had passed away from colon cancer. So that's actually kind of a downer. That I don't know why you would like it.
That was not how I thought that was going to go at all.
Yeah, me neither.
No, that's not it at all. No, but Elon Musk. So in terms of hilarious, funny tweets, Elon would come in first with that one. But yeah, unfortunately, the most liked tweet of all time was the fact that Chadwick Boseman, fantastic actor, passed away.
Yeah. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman. We may not love Black Panther like we're supposed to, but he was great. I thought he was better than Civil War, personally.
Oh, yeah. He's got Civil War, baby.
Yes, he does.
The dead aren't done, or wait, the living aren't done with you yet. It's my favorite line in a Marvel movie, of that phase. That is a great line. That and from Thor, the first one. When we talk
Listen, the scene where they're running down the car tunnel and I can't shake him, and it's just Black Panther running, and it's like, oh, you killed my dad, I'm gonna kill you, and he jumps off the car, and Bucky looks back, and Cap looks back, and it's just Black Panther. I'm like, oh shit, we in here. So that's he's always gonna have that moment.
Would you like something uplifting? The 18th most liked tweet of all time is with 2.9 million votes. On August 26th of 2020, it was put out by @IncredibleCulk. Macaulay Culkin tweeted out, "Hey guys, want to feel old? I'm 40. You're welcome." So there you go.
Yeah, I'm still pissed at him about that.
Why? Because you're feeling
funny.
old now?
Hey, don't get smart with me, motherfucker. We around
I'm
the same
older than
age.
you. Who am I talking shit to?
Exactly. Like we all were like, "Yo, Macaulay, what the hell, dude?"
Not me.
I saw him in person when I lived
I
out
was
west.
born in 1993, so I don't feel old at all.
I was born in 2023. I'm only a year old, bitch. Top that. I don't even know how I can vote.
I was
Shit.
born yesterday.
Both of y'all suck. I'm only 21 in 2024. Shoot, I'm about to get buck nasty.
Dion, I knew you when you were 21. I don't think you could survive being 21 at this age.
You
Me
know-
neither, dude.
It's crazy. It's crazy that you can say that, and like there's a significant amount of time where what I mean. Like, man, I remember y'all when y'all was in your 20s. It's like, damn.
I mean, we've been
Actually, I
friends
can
since
say
we were
that.
teenagers, technically.
See, I can't say that. I have known you all when you were in your 20s.
Shoot, you weren't that far out. Don't be getting all nostalgic, mofo.
I'm not. I'm just saying. I literally knew you guys when you were still in your 20s. You're not anymore. Neither am I.
I
just
know.
turned 30.
You came to my 30th birthday. We rented a
I was
house.
there. Yes,
Yeah.
we were all.
watched Tales from the Hood too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Dion was there. Nick was there. Nick's not here now. He's at a Native American wedding. Good for him.
Yeah. He'll be back next week for our end of year finale. Oh, wait till you're around 50. Oh man, we won't be doing this show at 50.
I'm ready because I can't get any grays. So I'm trying to, which I'm not complaining about. I'm not complaining. So, but I'm ready for 50.
Dion, you could always dye your hair a little gray if you're trying to get that Reed Richards look on the side.
Yeah, but I don't want to do it the fake way. I don't want to be Amanda Bynes.
Dude,
Oh,
you
don't
could
make
get
fun of her.
you could salt and pepper it up a little bit, and then you could go
push
out
it real
to
good.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that way too. Because you could go down to MSU and pull a Belichick and just. I think it would work for you.
You ain't lying. That maybe, yeah, definitely the power of being my 50s. I don't know if I'm ready yet.
No,
Nick is not getting.
If he was getting married, we would not be here because we would be at his wedding.
Yeah, like that's the thing that people don't realize about the show. Like we're actually that close. We don't like portray a bunch of friends on the internet because it's funny. Like when it comes to the real life shit, it's like, who did I text the other day about my holiday plans? The dude in the bottom picture. Oh, am I coming up on this date? We good to go? We're making all of our Christmas plans. I still got to buy Christmas presents for his kids.
Yeah, we talk to each other every day. Dion and I were talking to each other earlier, making fun of Bill Belichick and wondering if he's getting the UNC job just to be able to hit on college girls. Which we both are in agreement. Yes, that's why he's doing it.
Yes. And we were both made uncomfortable by that thought. We were like, yeah, but we're gonna hear about this shit later.
Yeah, it's like we get it. We really do, but we're gonna pretend we do not condone it.
Welcome to the Belichick Show, North Carolina.
I think we should rename tonight's episode "Celebrities You Forgot Existed," and
You're not wrong.
Women.
You're not wrong.
Poor old God, everyone's like, I'm this old. Where's Channel Dad Brian Lape? He's like 400 now.
Yeah, dude, he's coming up on Yoda age.
Yeah, man, he's like, man, I remember when fire was this new thing.
He posted something on Facebook the other day, and I wanted to make a Lape as anus and you're an old bastard joke, and I just didn't have the energy for it. I'm like, nah, I don't feel like doing that. I'm like, who the hell am I?
He posted his daughter had a birthday recently or whatever, and I was gonna make the joke about when she was on the show about I just threw the heart at my boy, but I was just like, yeah, yo, remember when she was on the show? How long ago was that? There, Channel Dad, you old piece of shit,
I just love how you're old and a piece of shit, man. Dion loves you if he calls you an old piece of shit, folks. It's a term of endearment here.
I call people I love names. Don't judge me.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do. We're guys.
I mean, the phrase "a bitch" has been thrown at each other how many times over the 15? God, no, longer than 15 years at this point. Oh, the
It very specific. Like, so for context, we don't just like roll up calling each other a bitch, but it's
we
like,
used to.
It's a but again, it was situational. It was like, hey, yo, like, hey, bitch. Like, it wasn't like we don't like,
I'm gonna
mistreat one another.
I'm gonna find it on Facebook because there's something I posted on your Facebook and you respond with, if you want to just call me a bitch, call me a bitch. Like straight up, like posted it on my wall. Because we'd see each other in the cafeteria, like, hey bitch.
Right. Right. It's a whole context thing. Like, so, just say, shit. It's a whole thing there. Yeah.
If I ever see Dion on the street, I'm gonna roll down my window and be like, hey bitch. And yeah, I roll my window down.
I'll be like, oh shit. I know that voice called me a bitch.
Yes, you do. Let's give our friend, who was that? Aurora Uplink? No, Adama, who requested a button right here.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's me, Austin! Oh, son of a bitch!
Classic moment in history of wrestling.
No, it wasn't. That was a fucking downer and a half.
No, I just meant the all son of a bitch part.
Oh, yeah, that part.
Like, literally, it's me, Austin, oh, son of a bitch. Like that. That's it.
JR was speaking for every one of us watching Raw that night because it's like all this buildup for who is this higher power. And it turns out to be fucking Vince McMahon, who almost had his daughter crucified, almost went through all this other shit just to get back at Stone Cold Steve Austin. And we're just like, I was like 15 or 16. I'm like, this is so stupid.
It was.
God, pro wrestling is awesome.
Wrestling.
It should have been Linda. That's the camp that I'm in.
That would have made more sense, but I don't know. Being Shane McMahon, that would have been funny too. But
yep, Shane would have been a good one.
In hindsight, it's like, who else? What could it have possibly been? How stupid were we not to know that it was going to be Vince McMahon? But it's at the same time like, we waited for this payoff.
Vince was busy part of the union in late '99. He was a good guy at this point. He swerved us all, bro.
Sure. We'll go with that.
Yeah, Russo. Let's see. Xavier to God sends in 2 excellent wrestling-related questions. Fuck, marry, kill, WWE bra and panties, wet t-shirt, and swimsuit contest. Kenda, you're up first.
Jesus Christ. Is it 1998 again? All right, since this was Teenage Kendo, I'm going to channel Teenage Kendo. Pretty much the same person as now, just, not physically able to do half the shit he used to.
Only at 30? Come on now, man. You're not that old.
Yeah, I've lived a hard 30.
Yeah.
I feel like I've lived 40 of them in those 30. We're going to go with... we're going to kill the wet t-shirt. We're going to marry bra and panties matches and fuck swimsuit contest.
Yeah.
16-year-old me did love the bra and panties matches. As an adult, I'm like, God, this was terrible TV, but I loved it back then.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make excuses for my younger self. I loved Trish Stratus and Stacy Keibler and all of them. I mean, I was happy to see the TNA. It just wasn't why I was watching wrestling. Mm-hmm. But if I'm going to rank it, I'll pick bra and panty matches because I don't remember any prolific wet t-shirts. And I thought the swimsuits were boring because I wasn't watching when they were doing it. So like Jacqueline and Sable. Like Sable's hot, but I don't think Jacqueline and Sable and Deborah are like that fine. Like Trish Stratus and the ones I named, they get better as they move on. And so it's like, well, you don't see Trish Stratus and Tori Wilson in the Miss Rumble swimsuit contest, but you see Ivory and the original. Oh God, Mae Young. Ugh, we're not going to talk about that one. I'm gonna stick with what I said.
Yeah, thank you. Because I was gonna say she was old even then.
Dirt was younger than her. Dion?
I'm definitely marrying the bra and panties. That's the backbone of sleazy wrestling. TV where I will also reminisce within my teenage self. So I'm marrying bra and panties. I am banging wet t-shirt, and I'm killing the swimsuit because the swimsuit teenage me, like we knew what we were getting with swimsuits, and and that really was just that was like that was like during SummerSlam or when what was Bash the Beach and whatever the shitty ECW summer pay-per-views were. But yeah, I'm killing the swimsuit one for sure. But yeah, man, bra and panties and red t-shirt is especially growing up in country ass Michigan. The wet t-shirts, it hit a nerve, son. It hit a nerve.
Xavier DeGod asks, who is the best cheater in wrestling history?
Ric Flair. He's the dirtiest player in Triple H.
Not Eddie Guerrero?
It's always gonna be Eddie Guerrero. Ric Flair, he is the man. 100% dirtiest player, but the best cheater, straight up cheater, Eddie Guerrero. The dude, the way he became WWE champion, he retained, specifically the word retained at WrestleMania because he cheated. He out-cheated an Olympic level wrestler, one of the greatest wrestlers in the history of planet Earth, because he lies, he cheats. Remember when I said I was going to wrestle you straight up at WrestleMania?
I lied. Eddie Guerrero is the man. R.I.P. Eddie Guerrero.
My children know Eddie Guerrero in this motherfucker for sure.
If you could go back in time, because we talked about that earlier, 20 years ago, 2004, and say, bet it now, who's going to be alive in 2024, Ric Flair or Eddie Guerrero? Everybody would have bet probably still Ric Flair.
That specifically is why I love you. That was good. That was very good.
You got me.
Appreciate that one.
You got me.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero next year, he'll have been gone for 20 years. So I remember going into school and the guy's like, Eddie Guerrero died. They talk about it on Raw. I go, it's Monday morning. Raw hasn't happened. And I went to the computer lab because we didn't have smartphones yet. And yeah, that exact thing had happened. And it was sad. That Eddie Guerrero tribute show is probably the saddest thing they've ever produced.
Yeah. I was subbing that day because I was still in school, but I had enough credits to sub. And it was for a school I'd worked at a few times. So the kids kind of knew me. And I went in, sat down, like, oh, man, you're our sub today? I'm like, yeah. I was like, hey, anybody here watch wrestling? They're like, yeah. I was like, raise your hand if Eddie Guerrero's your favorite. Some kids raised their hands like, you got to get a new favorite wrestler. That's how I told them that Eddie Guerrero died.
Damn, dude.
Harsh.
I know, that was cold-blooded. I don't regret it, though.
But as an Eddie Guerrero fan, he got it.
Yeah, I was going to say, that Eddie Guerrero probably was like freshly dead and looking down going, he got that there you go. He was being a dick. I get that. Good for him.
They're talking in the chat about Ric Flair will never retire from wrestling. Did you watch his last match? I did not because I didn't feel like paying. Grab. Yeah, it was a cash grab. Sorry.
And I'm not proud of it. I bought the pay-per-view and I made my wife and sister watch it with me, and they are mad at me to this day because fuck you, Kendo, stop laughing so hard. Diane is a wrestling fan, and Hillary, Jeff knows this. Hillary watches wrestling because of me, and I have Triller, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna buy it, and I'll never forget. Like because we were all like messaging or whatever, and I was messaging Kendo, and Kendo was literally like, I don't want to hear about this shit. And I was like,
he's gonna die in the ring. I don't want to hear you. I mean, I was like, he's gonna die. This is the match he will die in, because not for any other reason than Ric Flair is the type that will never actually retire. I know he's doing this for the money. He claims it's not for the money, but it's totally for the money. And he's gonna die in the ring. And Dion's gonna message me and say, "Oh my God, he just collapsed." And now the show just went off. The screen went black, and there was paramedics rushing to the ring. That never came through. I was fully expecting it to come through, though. And I
regret my purchase. And Diane is mad at me to this day, she's like, "Yo, I thought you made me watch Ric Flair die." Like she still is like, "Yo, you paid for that. You're part." The phrase that I specifically received that evening, and Diane repeats, but both Hillary, my sister, and my wife were like, "You're part of the problem." And I was like, "Yeah, I know, but he's the thirdest player in the game. He can do it one more time."
Yeah. Old Conrad didn't have to sell mortgages that week.
And and bless Jay Lethal and bless Andrade.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Wrestling is built on respect, and I got nothing but respect for Ric Flair. But Ric Flair has gotta, stop.
Listen, we are the 2020s are proof of sometimes you gotta know when to hang them up. And Ric Flair did not know in true pro wrestler fashion when that time came.
Speaking of, do you know who's coming out of retirement? Stung.
Really?
What?
Yeah, Sting is supposedly going to be showing up on AEW TV.
Oh man, Steve,
sure they
hang
need
it
him.
up, bro.
So his retirement was short-lived.
All right, Xavier DeGott, thank you very much. Rate these from least to greatest. Base of charisma: Ric Flair, The Rock, Randy Savage, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, Cena. God, there's a lot. HBK, Y2J, Scott Steiner, and Edge.
Oh my gosh.
So we're going to go from the least charismatic to the most charismatic?
Yes. I'll go first. I will say I'm strictly going off objective charisma. Straight, pure charisma. And I'm glad my most respected pro wrestling brothers are here, so they won't be too mad at me. But they won't be surprised at my selections. So let's rip off the Band-Aid. Least to greatest, I'm going John Cena.
Bingo.
I'm going Edge. I'm going this may be surprising to some, HBK. Then I'm going Y2J, Scott Steiner, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, Flair, Savage, The Rock.
Okay.
Kendo, you're up.
So, because this person is still out there and is a channel turner, Y2J, who would have been higher, is now towards the bottom. So I'll put him on the bottom. Then comes Edge, because he's still out there and he's part of the channel turning crew. So then it goes Y2J, Edge, then Cena, then probably HBK, Steiner, Stone Cold, Hogan, Flair, because he stuck around too long. So if I applied the rule to before, I got to apply it again. Because to me, only because I was watching wrestling before this person came out, and they still resonate with me over the other one. It goes Rock, then Randy Savage.
So for my list, charisma and corniness sometimes go hand in hand. And although Cena is a nice guy, I'm putting him at the bottom because, it was hard to listen to him talk at times. So I'll put Cena down there. Then I'll put Edge, then Scott Steiner, then Shawn Michaels. Now, he is a channel turner, and Jericho used to be my second favorite wrestler, and now I kind of hate him. So but his promos and stuff, and he cut some good stuff. So I'll put Jericho there. Then I'll put Stone Cold, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Savage, and The Rock. I like Hulk Hogan promos, and it's like cocaine-fueled craziness. And the only thing, I'm not throwing a dig at Ric Flair, the only reason he's not higher is his gimmick is great, but it's his gimmick. And these other guys had a little more variety in their repertoire. So, maybe Hogan's talking about all the Hulkamaniacs on his back as he swims the Trump Plaza at WrestleMania 5 or whatever. That shit's funny to me. or like Hulk Hogan's got a million great promos. So that's my ranking. And yeah, I'm biased towards The Rock, but who gives a shit? Dion said he was number 1 too.
Yeah. So now you know what you have to do. You have to push the Hulk Hogan breathing button.
Oh yeah, I do. Let's get the Hulk Hogan breathing button. Some people are like, The Rock over Ric Flair? Yeah. I mean, unless you watched all The Rock's shit, like those promos were awesome.
The dude was, yes, truly electric. Like,
yeah,
and y'all know how much I love Ric Flair, but and then, again, I'm biased to, like, my best friend loves The Rock. I'm a Stone Cold fan through and through, but we both are just like, The Rock. He's the fucking
There's
man.
my WrestleMania cup and this random action figure I got sitting off the shelf.
Let's
I didn't
go.
pull those down. The thing is, like, love Ric Flair, but, like, I think a lot of people's rating of The Rock is because they're pissed off about modern version and, like, oh, he takes spots away from young guys, this and that. Like, nah, that's not the case, because John Cena's buried more people than all that crap. But he's still entertaining to watch when he comes back and he's talking about the meth heads of Arizona. Like, I remember his shit. I remember with a tear in my eye, this is the greatest night of my life. But then I just remember this is a $5,000 watch and the shoes and this and that. It's like the same for 50 years. And now, like you said, he's old and Jericho's got go away heat for me. It's like, I get he tries to reintroduce himself or reinvent himself, but, like, you're dressing up as a Clockwork Orange. You're dressing up as the Crow. Like, just stop, dude. Like, cut your never ever again catchphrase. Say that shit. I'm on board with that. There's sometimes the iconic stuff lands.
Listen, man, Jericho is just the Edward Norton of pro wrestling, and that's fine. Sometimes what's fire in the moment is passe, 10 years later. And, again, I still love Jericho. Again, we are living in a time when he's being unbearable. And hopefully that shit will pass. But he's still the Ayatollah of rock and roller. And again, that's why even, I enjoyed the Netflix documentary, right? Like, it is always a show, and you always have to take pro wrestling with a grain of salt. They're always, the thing that you feel, always assume is what they want you to feel at that moment. And yes, he's a pain in the ass, even though he's kind of a sensitive baby online these days. You just can't help but love the hits. You love the hits.
I lost a lot of interest in Jericho right before he left the WWE because he would just, like, come back and be really, like, yes, the Kevin Owens stuff was great, but, like, what else is really memorable from Jericho's, like, post heel turn title reign around WrestleMania 26? Like, what has Jericho done in the last 14 years that's really been amazing? A little bit of the bubbly?
A little bit of bubbly counts for me. I fucking love it. This other fucking wrestling company showed up, and of course, their first champion is, of course, it's Chris Jericho. A little bit of bubbly, and then he's just, the whole. He is. It's funny. It's funny how he is. We get to see another version of over the hill Ric Flair with Chris Jericho.
Yeah,
it's fair.
I don't want to turn this into an anti-Jericho podcast, but we said
I'd say even pro-Jericho podcast. I'm not being wrong. You're Peyton Manning after the neck injury, Kendo.
I understand that reference.
Yeah. Dude, although Peyton after the neck injury did win a Super Bowl.
Right.
Jericho's
and
won a world title
and Jericho's the FTW champion.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, wow. He got a made-up title from Taz's son.
Yep, pretty much.
Because getting that kid over is the future of wrestling. And guess what? I hate CM Punk, but you back Jungle Boy Jack Perry over CM Punk? Come on, AEW.
Well, again, listen, that whole thing, was a shit show from all sides, and you're not wrong at all. That being said, that is a wrestler's thing to do. Is I won this championship that this dude made up in a fucking backwater promotion, and it counts as a championship. Like, that is what a wrestling heel does. And I still, even though the learning tree thing is dumb, but I love it. I just love it. It's so dumb.
it just makes, like, today I was playing 2K24 and I have a custom made Jericho in the game, and I thought, can you just quit wrestling and sign a Legends contract so we can just have your greatest hits, your action figures, put you in a video game, put you in the Hall of Fame, and you have a family. Just go retire and be happy. Like, nobody, there's a limit, and then they lose respect in a lot of people's eyes. Now, Ric Flair is too legendary to lose respect, but it's sad to watch him wrestle. It's sad to see him promoting weed gummies or Uber Eats. It's just like, Rick,
or his Woo Wings and his Ric Flair energy drink.
Jericho's not there yet, but there's always going to be
still time.
There's a lot of time, and knowing Jericho, I would not be surprised if we ended up there 100%. But there's there's rock bottom, and then there's Space Mountain. And, people forget about what it looks like to be in the gray area between the two. And Jericho's in that gray area. And, I enjoy some of it. And, it's just like, hey, I don't think it'll get that bad. But the dude is, he's at a place where he can make a decent amount of money doing the shit. Like, yes, he's no longer Y2J. But him cutting a promo with the outcasts of MMA fighters from American Top Team, where they've had world champion MMA fighters, it's weird, but it's entertaining. Jericho calling Paige Van Zant a slut is weird, but hey, I enjoyed it. Damn.
He's got to do a lot to go back on my list. He might have fallen he's out of my top 5 for sure.
And people do it all the time.
Yeah. Hey, I want him to. I want Jericho to come back and be awesome. Like his match with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat 15 years ago, that was cool. His little mini feud with Mickey Rourke when he wasn't in the world title picture, that was cool. I will say, when we were friends with Dustin, his obsession with Chris Jericho turned me off to Chris Jericho, because it was like everything that Chris Jericho did was God. And I'm like, I get it. You like ironic bullshit, but Chris Jericho is not better than Shawn Michaels. Chris Jericho is not better than all these guys just because he wears a fucking suit. Ric Flair wore the best looking suits. He didn't Jericho's great, but he's not the greatest at anything. Name something where Jericho is truly the greatest. You can't, in my opinion. I want to get us to a point where we can get some wrestlers on to debate this shit. How could you say that about Chris Jericho? Because I watched this shit, buddy. We lived through it all. Speaking of living through it all and watching it all, what do you guys think of Saturday night's main event this Saturday, having Jesse Ventura come back? I'm watching the show with the guys. We're getting together for
interested.
it. You are?
I'm interested too. Same.
I will probably turn it on and watch it.
Agreed.
Yeah, we'll text each other.
I can't wait. I honestly, I want Ventura to go peak Ventura. I want halfway through the show him to start spouting off conspiracy theories to McMahon. He's
gonna get a couple off. He it's Jesse Ventura. He can't help himself. But agreed. Yeah, I am. It is this 2020's wrestling renaissance. I'm kind of intrigued to see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I want somebody to get hit with a chair out of nowhere and you hear Ventura go, McMahon, that is like when they shot JFK from the grassy knoll. Be like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Hey, what are you talking about?
McMahon isn't even at this company. I'll make you a bet. We should play a drinking game. If he accidentally says Gorilla or Heenan or Gino, we have to drink. Because he's going to slip into it.
You're on.
I hope Corey Graves doesn't fuck it up, though. It is Corey Graves.
Graves, listen, I get why people don't like him. I don't like him very much right now, but he has slowly started to grow on me a little bit. I'll say that.
Oh, I don't dislike him, but there is no I'll give Michael Cole the respect he deserves, but there are very few people in the WWE that are in the conversation for the greatest at anything currently. Because look, the greatest ring announcer, Howard Finkel. William Garcia's great and all, but Howard Finkel is the greatest. Greatest commentators, JR. Not anybody that's current, not Booker T. I love Booker T, but God damn, he is terrible on commentary.
Tell me you did not just say that.
Oh, I said it, sucker. Hulk Hogan, dude, that's my favorite promo. You want to put charisma? Booker T #1. What is that? Bash at the Beach '96? No, wait. That's not the same pay-per-view as Hogan becoming the third man. It's like in this. Is it Spring Stampede '96? 97. Okay.
Dan would know. Yeah, I don't remember where that one was at.
Xavier the God's got a good one. Who has better catchphrases, Ric Flair or The Rock?
The Rock.
The Rock.
Ric Flairs are great. Don't get me wrong. And people get so caught up on, not just in pro wrestling, but in sports in general. There having to be a hierarchy. Like, it's okay to be the number 5 or 6 guy, right? Like, you can enjoy the number 5 or 6 guy. And in terms of catchphrases, listen, I say I've used Ric Flair catchphrases in life lessons that I teach my freaking children. That being said, if I got to rank them, it's Rock #1, Flair #2. My kids, listen, the one thing that they know for sure is, hey, oh, is that what you think? It doesn't matter. Like, we do that to each other as a part of conversation in this fan. Like, listen, I love Ric Flair. He is, in my mind, the baddest man. But The Rock catchphrases, get out of here, dog. Get out of here.
The Rock had so many different catchphrases. Like, Ric Flair had great ones. But, like, I tell people to just bring it. I mean, shut your mouth. Obviously, know your role, shut your mouth. Lay the smack down. The Rock's the only wrestler to have a word in the dictionary. Where's Ric Flair's word in the dictionary? Like, lay it the smack it down is a fucking thing. Everybody knows what that means. It's just part of pop culture. So I'm going to go with The Rock. I mean, it's not even close. Oh man, Rock or Hogan for movies.
Oh,
they both make bad
Rock,
movies.
Simon.
But
Hogan
The
has
Rock has made actual
movies.
films.
Yeah, The Rock's been in actual movies.
Plus, The Rundown is a sneaky great movie.
And the Jumanji movies are good. Like, you can't convince me that those movies are bad. The first one's my favorite, but the second and third one are fun to watch. Even I could even deal with Aquafina.
Oh, she's not that bad.
Aquafina.
That was real. Dude, today, real quick, since we're talking about Aquafina, and I was thinking about Shang-Chi and the Eternals movies, did you see that new Captain America trailer where they actually show what happens to the Eternal that's coming out of the Earth?
Yep.
I was like, dude, there's a climax at the fucking Eternal, or the Celestial? All right, that's too late.
Hey, they're in that box. It's gonna be funny watching them crawl out of it, baby. I can't wait.
The bottom has dropped out.
Hey, it doesn't mean that it's over. It don't mean that it's over.
Hey, I am willing to see how bad it is next year. So, folks, for Valentine's Day, I'm not going to go see that movie, but I'll see it on the 13th because that's when it'll drop. So, Dion, go take your lady out. Enjoy something. I'll take the bullet for that one. Not literally, but, go do something better than watch Captain America Brave New World. You owe it to Hillary after Kraven the Hunter.
Well, listen, I do want to see that one. And, she messed up. She had an opportunity to get out of Dodge. She ain't take it. The one thing you get with me is bad movies that probably won't be that good. That's her fault, not mine.
Real quick to the chat. When I buy a house, I want to do it on some of my own land, and I'm probably going to name my street Know Your Old Boulevard, and I don't care. I will get it licensed with the government. Where does Jeff live? At the corner of Know Your Old Boulevard and Jabroni Drive. Everyone would know how to find me, but no one would know exactly where it is. God, I would not name my house the SmackDown Hotel, though, because that means you could stay at my house.
Yeah, that's inciting a couple troublemakers.
Yeah. Sorry, no vacancies. This is like the Bates Motel. Or no, it's like Hotel California. You can check in, but you can't check out.
Oh,
all right, calm down. Dramatic.
Hey, Macho Man said that, son.
He did, but you don't have the charisma.
Yeah,
I am not even deny. I'm not even going to act like I have the charisma of Macho Man. My fucking light fell.
I hate you, Hulk Hogan.
Damn it! I need a better setup. I need a new. Did you hear? I know I said it on the show like 5 times, but did you hear I got electrocuted before the show?
No.
I used to have a big light over here, and I went to turn it on, and it like shocked me. That's why I was late. I was like, "Fuck."
Oh. Yeah, as long as you ain't like, I touched it and I woke up looking at the ceiling, I'd be like, motherfucker, go get checked out. Don't be playing around.
This isn't Jeff. Serious. This is the life model decoy of Jeff Hicks.
Well, that'll work. Thanks, Doctor. Thanks, Victor Van Dam.
John Thomas says, y'all joked about Belichick. The Babylon Bee posted he took UNC job only so he can live in the dorms with his girlfriend.
Oh.
I did see that on the Babylon Bee this morning too, or this afternoon, whenever I saw it. Yeah, no, I had sent Dion that thing. I think last night.
Yep, and I responded like
as soon as I saw that thing. That's like Belichick taking UNC job. I'm like sending Dion. I was like, he's taking this job just to get college girls. That's only reason why he's got to be there.
Yeah, dude. He has a specific type, and in that age, you stay within your hunting grounds.
It's like he does not need the money or the accolades or any of that because he's already got it all. It's got to be just to have access to college age girls.
Listen, and he showed his daddy's UNC sweatshirt, so they're gonna eat that right up.
Now, I don't want to sound like I'm that out of touch, but when you're that rich and that famous, can't you get somebody else? Like, I get it, the status of having a young girl, but like, he's a Super Bowl winning coach. Couldn't he get some like former supermodel because of status marriages? Like,
but you're thinking like a peasant. You're thinking like someone who wakes up and goes to work and has to worry about limitations. He is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and he tasted the fruits of being in that machine. Of course, he's gonna go like Bill Belichick. Very clearly is like, I don't want someone my age. I want something fresh. Like that. I'm not saying
someone his age, but he could go for like, all right, he should marry Giselle. Tom Brady fucked that up. That's a power move. She's hot.
Why? That would be a massive power move.
When you can have,
I don't want some 20-year-old girl. I'd rather take Giselle Bündchen, even after she popped out some
But you're a normal man. You're a normal man.
Bill Belichick is an old-ass man. He ain't even normal anymore.
Yes.
So you guys are missing the most important part here. Bill Belichick was married for a long time to a woman his age. Bill Belichick and his wife got divorced. Why is Bill Belichick going after a girl that's in her 20s? To win the divorce. That's all it is. He's got to win the breakup. So he's won he's a Super Bowl winning coach 6 times over. He's considered one of the greatest coaches of all time. I don't think he's got as many wins as Shula, but he's probably number 2. He's got everything. Him and his wife split. So what does he do? I gotta win the breakup. What's the easiest way to win that breakup? Get a younger, newer model. So trade in the old 60 for a 23.
Dion, you are younger than Bill Belichick. You need to go fuck his wife because that's how she wins. Chocolate Thunder.
Threaten me. Listen,
he would do that. Don't go to him.
No, I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm just saying I know how to control my MILF powers. That being said, it is a different world when you're Zeus looking down from Olympus. And you're not, Bill Belichick is not going to go for those things, especially in the world of football. When you get back up here, especially listen, there's gonna be when we do the Lakeside Lake Down, I'm gonna remind you two simple mofos. Right, we're gonna watch Any Given Sunday again. You gotta watch Any Given Sunday. Like
I've seen that.
Al Pacino banging the young escort at the bar. That's what Bill Belichick does. He doesn't play around. He drinks bourbon and 25-year-old Brittany. That's what that dude does.
Oh, she's 25?
Who knows?
Probably.
Oh, and that's different. I thought this was like an 18-year-old girl. I'm like, that's fucking weird.
No, he's not doing that.
I mean, it's UNC. There's, it's Carolina.
She's been an adult long enough to know better, but at the same time go, this guy's rich.
So when is he going to find out that Brittany's been fucking her old boyfriend Brad on the side? Is Bill going to just deal with it, or is he going to get all in a huff?
No.
Yeah, he's in his 60s. He knows what to do. He's
and he's got access to a whole lot more Britneys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of many Britneys. And he'll go from one to the other, Kendo. One to the other.
That's why the UNC job, according to me and Dion.
And the Babylon Bee. Xavier to God asks an important question. Has The Rock made anything worse than the Marine?
He was in the Marine?
No, John Cena's the Marine.
No.
Oh.
The Tooth Fairy. The Tooth Fairy is worse
Southland
than the Marine.
Tales is worse than the Marine.
Oh, come on, Dion, you're a pimp, and pimps don't kill themselves. You used to say that line in college. It was funny, folks. We never watched that movie together, but we had both seen it like the same summer away from school. And like we come back and we're both like bitching about this movie. And it's Southland Tales. It's garbage. That's
And then we watched it together in Alicia's dorm room. And I was like, we were both just like, yeah,
Alicia?
dang,
Who
this
was
movie
Alicia?
is so it's what?
I thought it was Katie. Who was Alicia?
One of the ladies of that stature.
Oh, damn, that was a burn.
Okay.
Anyway.
So for clarification, Bill Belichick is 72 and his girlfriend is 24.
Okay. She's old
Dude.
enough. It's weird, but she's old enough.
I mean, yeah, obviously, but at the same time, damn.
I wish I was more invested in Bill Belichick, but I am going to keep Kendo. Put him on the Deadpool for me for 2025.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. He's got a lot to live for. That's a bad idea.
He's going to have a
he
heart attack.
Also could
having
blow
sex.
his heart out.
That's
So here's what we're going to do. Now that you mentioned it again, I am resurrecting the Deadpool. And
resurrecting.
Yeah. What we'll do is, I guess it'll just be me, you, Dion, and Nick for right now in the Deadpool. And I will send you guys the instructions tomorrow. And we'll do a Deadpool draft live on air next week, along with whatever else we do.
So we can get Pete and
I think we can get Pete in. Dude, if I can listen, I'll fucking
Pete,
message
Dan,
Pete right now.
Yep, message that dude, get him in on it. We can pull someone from the ether to at least be on.
Should we get a former bullshitter that's on the old poster to join the Deadpool?
Yes.
Here,
All
let's
right,
let the audience pick real quick.
Audience, maybe we won't have the draft live on air, but we'll do it probably over the course of the next couple of weeks. And then when we come back in January, we will tell you who's on our Deadpool rosters. I will give you guys the loadout. We'll figure out who's going to be on it. And towards the end of the year, before New Year's, you guys will know exactly.
We're going to get an episode too. We'll make the draft an episode. It'll be fun.
So, Dion, who do you think's going to join of the classic lineup? We threw Kendo on here because this spot used to be blank, but it could be Dan, it could be Joel, it could be Loudy, it could be Phil, or it could be Dustin.
I think we'll get Phil. Phil's probably going to do it. I think we can get Dan. Loudy, I was talking to Loudy the other day. I'm sure I can get Loudy to do it. Dustin might be a hard buy, and I don't know if Joel would pick. One of us would probably pick Joel. So.
Oh, guys, update. Belichick's girlfriend was banging a 64-year-old before she hooked up with Bill, so she's going
she's
for
got
a 100-year-old. Okay, it's her thing.
Yeah, she's got a type.
It's a whole other world, boys. It's a whole other world.
Do you think Anna Nicole Smith is watching down from heaven going, that's my girl, that's my girl? Like, that's what she did.
She was the poster child of how to do that.
Yeah, it didn't turn out too well for her.
Not the end.
I mean, did it?
It went okay for a while.
Here's the greatest way to describe her. There's grave robbers and tomb raiders. That's what she is. So, folks, unless you guys have anything else to say, it's getting late. So I think we're going to get going. We're getting close to the holiday season, a.k.a. Christmas around here. So, folks, next week is our end of 2024 spectacular. We're going to start it off strong. We're going to have the best movies, the worst movies. We're going to have the Deadpool. We're going to have games. We're going to talk about everything that you guys want and a lot more. So make sure you join us next week live. Don't wait for the replay. Stop waiting for the replays. Watch us live. You know, DVR, whatever. Hell, nobody even DVRs anymore. Stream your shit later. Watch us live. But, guys, is there anything else you want to say about this week before we go?
For Yayo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yes, Lethal Weapon is also a Christmas film, folks. And it's
It is.
It's just not the best Lethal Weapon movie. I'd say part 2.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
2 is so awesome.
It is.
It probably goes 2, 1, 3, 4, which at the same time, there's outside of if you pick 2 first and then any of the other 3 in any order, you're not going to get any arguments. You just can't pick 2 anything less than 1. That's just kind of how it works.
Yeah, it's just the perfect action quadrilogy ever.
I agree. There's not a bad film in the franchise. And the third one's got that bitch and Sting song. It's probably me. So that's a great credit sequence with the fire.
With a great opening with the flame.
Yep.
You know, oh, so good.
3's got
Plus
the best
that Murtaugh being
ever.
like, tell me where you got this gun. I'm going to blow your motherfucking head off. And it's like, damn.
Don't you love how in every movie the Murtaughs have like a new cause, but it doesn't come off as shitty or preachy? You're just like, all right, well, it makes sense to care about.
Why, you're describing good filmmaking brought forth by our art and father in heaven, Roger Corman, who always
Richard Donner.
Richard Donner.
Listen, we love Richard Donner. Roger Corman, you know, you can have a message, but the movie still has to be good.
But Roger Corman has nothing to do with Lethal Weapon.
Right. But he's also, that was his specific, that's why I brought him up. That was, he specifically said that.
Oh, I just,
damn it.
I'm just going off the strength of Richard Donner being such a good filmmaker that I actually.
Richard Donner's our man. He's the man. Richard Donner, arguably, he's a Hall of Famer. Arguably, he's definitely the patron saint of this channel for sure. He's Richard fucking Donner.
Oh, easily.
Put respect on his name.
I don't want to put anything but respect on his name.
Damn right.
If you're not a Goonie, you're a Superman fan. If you're not that, you like Lethal Weapon, The Omen, Maverick. Dude's made great movies in every. Didn't he make Phone Booth?
Mm-hmm.
No, that was Joel Schumacher, right?
For
Phone Booth.
Yes, that was Joel Schumacher. You're right.
Okay. I mean, it's not like I have the internet in front of me or what I'm recording on.
Shit. We nerds, you good, dog? You know, shoot. You know,
it's funny.
Himself.
Joel Schumacher gets dumped on by like nerdy fans, but outside of Batman and Robin, and I don't even think Batman Forever is that bad. The dude made a bunch of really good movies. So,
well, listen, you know, everybody, you know, recency bias is a thing, and you know, there are a lot of people in both in sports and movies that you're only as good as your last project, you know, and you know, sadly for those of us who do not remember the early days of Saturday morning cartoons, you know, Batman and Robin is how a lot of people remember Joel Schumacher. Where the dude, like, listen, I still love Batman and Robin, but he has some bangers prior to that. And, you know, yeah, agreed. You know, time is a lot more nicer than people are. But, you know, Joel Schumacher's the man. I don't care. He's the man.
Yeah, dude, like 2 years after Batman and Robin, he made 8mm. That movie's awesome.
It's a great movie.
So, yeah, we are not an anti-Joel Schumacher podcast.
Damn right.
He's no longer with us, though.
Right.
But, wait, he directed DC Cab with Mr. T? Oh, man. It was horrible, but I love it.
I did not know that. That's a terrible movie, but it was fun as hell.
Gary Busey in that piece of shit, too? No.
Gary Busey was in a lot of stuff.
It is Gary Busey, okay. You know, I've met Gary Busey. I've hung out with him at a bar. I'm going to try to get him on the show one day in the future. But, Gary, I met you at a bar in 2012, and I can tell you, I'll tell him where we were, and hopefully we get him.
And I follow him on Instagram, and he takes bookings like a true businessman. I have zero problem if you were to pull that shit off, because you should. It's Gary Busey. Mr. Joshua, give me your arm.
Yeah, I was watching that shit the other night. What a good dude, I watched Die Hard on Friday. I went to a Christmas party. Saturday, I watched Lethal Weapon, Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation, and something else. So I'm in the Christmas spirit. So ho ho ho! I have a machine gun. All right, folks. Well, until next time, be smart, be safe, be cool. but always be excellent to each other.
.com.